come together as we organize our group right now. We're talking about affordable housing and the impact it's going to bring into our community. We have brought tremendous developers out here, some from other parts of the country, to introduce their product and how they will be able to energize and stimulate our community for growth. And we're looking at creating communities that not only going to grow but also become safe havens. Because we want our children to be able to enjoy themselves, be able to play in the front, and then just grow up like all children should be able to grow up and safe. So we're looking for this forum to talk about that, but most importantly, we're going to discuss the importance of affordable housing and how affordable housing really is. Usually you hear that term, affordable housing, what does that really mean? And so these speakers today, they're going to give you a clear understanding of what that really means. Again, my name is David Davenport, and with Davenport Community Development Corporation, we are a workforce program as well as a community development program, and we also focus on STEM technology and also AI. So without further ado, we're going to give it to my friend Michael.
And I'm going to introduce Natasha Robinson. Natasha, please.
Welcome to our office where we do a lot of affordable housing programs and everything. A lot of magic happens here. Glad to share your presence with us this morning. I am a full-time loan officer. I am licensed in about 20 states, and we offer all programs from FHA, VA, conventional, down payment assistance, jumbo, and I am a renovation specialist. And when we do renovation, we do it all day from 203K, which everybody hears about, but we also offer VA rehab, and conventional rehab as well. So multiple programs and products. I do have my team members today, Nina Gonzalez, if you want to say hi. Hello. I say Wilkerson. We are here to serve you. Any questions you have, let us know. There is no such thing as a bad question.
Wow, sounds like church. And we do have a reverend here. So with that, I'd like each of our presenters to simply introduce yourselves. Mr.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bill Jones. I'm a 203K consultant, 30 years, FHA appraiser for 45.
I've lost the video.
So we have people online watching and really connected.
I love the thing you speak.
Cook County probate appraiser for 25 years, VA appraiser. I do renovation consulting, which means I estimate the cost to renovate property. Be it if you're an owner occupant, you can buy property, renovate it under one mortgage. If you own the property, you can refinance it, renovate it under one mortgage. And that's it. If you got questions, feel free to call me when it's my turn to talk again. Thank you.
So
Attorney?
Good afternoon, hello everybody. My name is Valda Staton. I'm an attorney, been in real estate for a long time, I'll put it that way. 30 years. And I have represented, my practice area is real estate, be it representing buyers, sellers, lenders, borrowers. And in the nature, the kinds of transactions I've been responsible for, sometimes it's been retail, or rather, when I say retail, I mean residential, buying, selling, whether it's representing developers who are looking to develop multiple properties, residential or commercial. I'm also representing, on occasion, financial institutions. Formerly Seaway Bank and Trust. I was in-house counsel with them, and even after Seaway was sold off to the State Bank of Texas, I was engaged. I've been engaged on occasion to help Seaway Bank and Seaway Bank and Trust to negotiate with holders of properties secured loans that they issue, when the owners of such properties are in default, and they're trying to mitigate their loss. I've been working with, on my own, also with small-time developers, evolving, and expanding their business, expanding their practice here in the Chicagoland area, and in Northwest Indiana also. There's a lot of movement between, Illinois, the Cook County area, and Northwest Indiana. Type of movement.
And we'll have some great, she had some great information for us as we start presenting this. Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Mr. Sean. All right.
Good morning. I'm Sean Bacon with Excellence Inspection Services. I'm the President and Chief Inspector for Excellence. And when it comes to purchasing property, whether as an investor or to live in, it's important to know what the condition of that property is. And that's what I do as an inspector, is inspect that property, all of the major components for you, and provide a report and also educate you about that particular property. So I'll talk a little bit more about that, during my time.
Ask everyone to silence their phones. And with that, we're simply would like names and introductions. Attorney Townsend, please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to present to you today. My name is Attorney Luke Townsend. My group is the Sal Law Group. We practiced a number of years. As counsel indicated, me and Abraham Lincoln were in the same law school class together. I told him not to go down to that theater also. But with that, we bring a good deal of experience with you. We representative clients. We hear, ironically, Mr. Davenport, a member of the Apostolic Church of God, the inspector of membership for the Apostolic Church of God. It was my privilege to represent Bishop Brazier and Dr. Brazier during their lifetime and their business transactions for the church. Represented HUD, Illinois Housing Authority. Also served as a legal counsel to the Finance Committee of the City of Chicago, doing bond and real estate development matters. So we believe we have the expertise to represent you in your residential or your commercial real estate transaction. So I'm privileged to work with this gentleman here, Caldwell Banker and Guaranteed Rate, and a number of transactions in both residential and commercial transactions. As you have an excellent attorney presented earlier, if I need representation, I call her. But we respectfully request an opportunity to serve you, and we thank you for this opportunity. And again, there's no such thing as a stupid question. It's stupid for you to sit in your chair, have a question, have a concern, and not ask.
Say it.
No. Hey, Jenny, I think I'm going to church Sunday. You hear me saying amen? Amen. With that, I'd like to introduce a very important person, Janice Strickling of American Home Shield.
Hello, I'm Janice Strickling. I am a local market manager with American Home Shield Home Warranty. Home warranties cover multiple things. We'll get into that in a little bit. But American Home Shield is actually the company who started it all over 50 years ago, and we are throughout the United States. So I look forward to talking to you soon.
And very unexpectedly, we have a gentleman that I greatly respect here, Mr. Hurley Green III, Legacy Organization, the Bulletin newspaper.
You all weren't gonna wait for me to get started, so. Carry on.
Maddie, please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone. My name is Maddie Carter. I am the owner of Steer Liberty Consulting. At Steer Liberty Consulting, we will be bringing a modular facility that will robotically build 640 ranch-style homes per year. And that can be, we go from ranch, 2-story, 3-level, 4, as you will see, has 6 units, hospitals, hotels, whatever it takes, we can bring that modular style to you. And definitely trying to maintain a Chicago historical look.
Here's one of our primary speakers today. Just before I bring on the last speaker, I'd like to introduce my business partner. You have residential, commercial, real estate, and you have commercial. Stuart Morales, please introduce yourself.
Okay, all right. Look handsome and everything.
Stage you.
business partner, Michael.
Yes.
We met 5 years ago, such a blessing. Michael, just a staunch member of the community, he's done so much, has given so much. He decided to expand his horizons and go into commercial real estate. Yes, he dipped his foot in the pool, got taken by the riptide, as our attorneys sure know. So, commercial broker, been doing it for 20 years. Anything commercial, it's just not what you think, it's what you don't know that you need the answers for.
That part.
So,
Yes, exactly.
It's different. All right, the spirit is in me today. And we have Mr. from Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. Edward Mason.
Hello, everyone. My name is Edward Mason. I am the CEO of Bay Group, a vertically integrated real estate development firm. I am the CEO of Our Veterans Are Loved, a veterans service organization, and Bags Fund, which is a blockchain platform which gives international, accredited, and institutional investors access to our real estate development projects. A majority of our projects are in qualified opportunity zones, which are black and brown neighborhoods across the U.S. And I'm just here to talk to you today about the advantages of building new, different ways to build new, different ways to build affordable, and ways to address the affordable housing crisis in our neighborhoods and change our communities.
So with that, thank everyone for attending. You can see we have a wealth of information in our audience and with our presenters. So my job right now is to introduce you to the home buying process, okay? And it typically starts out with a buyer consultation. Welcome. A buyer consultation, what that is when you're in a process of purchasing a home, you need a realtor. It's highly suggested. Otherwise, you're on the website, you're looking for information. Oh, I like this home. So how do you go get into that home? Do you knock on the door and ask the owner, hey, I want to see your home, I might want to buy it. It's a lot easier to work for a realtor. Our jobs are to get you from purchase to a clean close so that you have your full bundle of rights as comfortable and as easily as possible, and we negotiate. And there's a lot of skills behind your realtor. So in that first buyer's consultation meeting, it could be at a coffee shop, it could be in a beautiful office like this, it can be on a video call. But the realtor should do several things for you. He should share what agency means. This means that there is a seller's broker. The seller's broker is, their job is to get the highest price for that home or that commercial property as possible. They represent the seller and all their confidentialities. A buyer's representative represents the buyer. His job is to understand your wants, your needs, your timelines, and to negotiate on your behalf. But very importantly, there's been some changes in the way we do this. And we'll talk about this a little bit later. But the agent should share what agency means. That means I represent the buyer or I represent the seller to the best of our ability. Your buyer's agent should share with you what lead-based paint can do to a home. What type of home are you looking for? If the home was built prior to 1978, it might have lead-based paint in it, unless it's been encapsulated or remediated. Or he should also share with you radon gases. If you're buying a property, you have small children, radon gases are gases that permeate through the earth, around the world. It can cause lung cancer. So you might want to have Sean inspect your property and test it for radon gases. The job of your agent not only is to understand your wants and needs, but you should understand him or her. Your agent may have been an appraiser. He may have been a facility manager over 100 properties or so. He may have been a commercial property manager. He or she probably has a designation such as ABR, Buyer's Representative, RCC, Residential Commercial Property Consultant, and there's so many other designations. They may be community leaders. So all of that might be your realtor, but actually that sounds like me. Okay, a lot of experience. Your realtor should be a specialized in an area. If he doesn't, he should be able to, they will be able to research for you. It's very important to have a buyer's representative. Let's take Roseland, for example. The average home in Roseland is selling for $180,000. Okay? I see the appraiser looking at me and he's saying, well, you should go with the median price. It's about $5,000 difference, but thank you. However, in West Chesterfield, a neighborhood in Roseland, recent sales have been $450,000, $415,000 on a property currently offered. And there's a luxury home owned by a business luminary selling for a two-story atrium, selling for $359,000. So your realtors will know your market. So it's important to work with a professional. Talk to your realtor. The realtor's objectives is to consult with you, to share what they know about the market, to be honest, and every experience that they can, report that to you. Not only does the realtor open doors, everybody thinks, it's an easy job. I'm gonna become a realtor, open a door, sell a property, move on. We'll talk about the selling process. But since 2019, a lawsuit was brought. And in the past, sellers would typically pay the selling broker, the listing agent, and the buyer's broker. That has changed. What has changed? It's always changes in the industry. Years ago, the only thing a realtor had was a private list of sheets. They meet at a bar. We talk about the 1800s, talk about their listings, and then that was personal information. But now there's a lot of information out there. But currently, where the seller would pay the buyer's broker and the listing broker, now the seller has an option. That option is, well, I'll pay my listing broker a commission, 8%, 7%. There's no regulations on the fees, it's negotiable. And I want to motivate someone to buy my home. So I will pay the buyer's broker their commission, or a portion of their commission. So that's a very important change. To me, the buyer always paid everything because you're buying the home and that's how the fees were paid. But now it's separate. So how long is the process to close? Well, first of all, let me point out one important line to you. We have the new buyer's representation agreement. Any agent that is going to take you out, they're going to ask that you be pre-approved by guaranteed rate or a lender. That means that you're now no longer window shopping. You're actually shopping for a home. You're not window shopping. You're in the process of purchasing. But in order for a broker to officially represent you and negotiate for you, this is the representation agreement. It outlines the terms, how long this agreement is between you and I, and it provides information on what you and your broker negotiate in the buyer's commission. Again, now the buyer pays the realtor their fees, their commissions. So this is on your sheets, on your desk, and in your packages. So now, the process to buy a home is easy. Go out, find a home you like, write a contract, you close, and then you have a home. Well, there's a lot of steps involved, and that's why we have the professionals here to talk to you about what they do. On day one, maybe you write, after seeing about 10, 15 homes, maybe 30, I've shown 200 homes in my younger days. Twice. My wife is here smiling. But you do what your heart tells you, and your job is to represent your client. These people are seriously looking for a home. But once that contract is accepted, what happens next? Well, you've got 5 to 10 days to do your home inspection, Sean. Then on day 10, you probably finalize your mortgage application with your lender. Day 15 to 21, the appraisal is ordered, the survey is ordered, title escrow search is done, If you're buying a condo or a co-op, you have to meet with the association to get the bylaws. Day 21 to 45. There's the mortgage commitment process. To clear the title, you need the condo association's approval. And the lender also looks at the condo association's financials. Get your loan documents. Then you can do your final walkthrough of the home. That's always a lot of fun. You want to just simply make sure the home is still standing and nothing substantial has happened to it, while you negotiate that at the closing table. Then you close and move into your new home. So that's the process in simple words, but we look forward to working with you. We invited a lot of David Davenport Development Corporation has invited a number of speakers here, and I would like to introduce the next speaker. And with that, we introduce Natasha Robinson. Hey.
So I just have a quick question for everyone. How many people in the room are already homeowners? Okay, that's right. That's how we want community lending and investing today. So I always ask that question so we can kind of get right to my PowerPoint, because I do have a lot of different information. But just so you can let others know, we are trying to increase our numbers of homeownership. And I feel like oftentimes we don't get enough of this, right? We don't get enough individuals that are coming together and spreading the word about homeownership. And we have a lot of myths out there where, you know, people in the room may have bought their property 20, 25 years ago, and they did things a lot different. I know I purchased my properties a lot different than people are purchasing their properties today. So today we just want individuals to know, you know, why rent, right? Why rent or why own versus rent? Okay, so for everyone out there watching and you're renting and you're in your high-rise beautiful condo with the attached swimming pool and you have all the amenities, your rent is gonna go up next year, almost guaranteed. And after 30 years of you living that lifestyle and you've worked your hard life in your good health, now you don't have anything paid in full. And the trick to home ownership is buying something and having it that you can use, number one, as an asset to get you through your next life and all the things you're gonna learn today about investing in new construction and modular homes and all the other good stuff, but taking the opportunity to own a piece of your land, right? Because a lot of us was raised, I'm from the west side of Chicago, Roosevelt and Kedzie, right? And a lot of us are not going to be able to live in the hoods, right? Where we were born and raised, where we developed hardship, where we experienced crime, and where we could barely make it in those communities. We are not even going to be able to own in those areas in 10 years because everyone else is buying our blocks up. So today, I want to give you the message that we have to own, and although renting may be great today at the moment, but we always have to be thinking about tomorrow. And in 30 years, you're not gonna have that same health to get up and go to work every day. You're not gonna have those same liberties. If you go to Northwestern Hospital a lot, when I check in, I always see an elderly person like checking me in at the front desk. But when we turn 75, 80 years old, we wanna live off our Social Security, our disability, have our taxes free because we paid our dues, and we want our house to be paid in full. So that is why we should own. So if you know anybody in the room that doesn't own, if you know anybody in your life, I challenge you to tap into 5 people today who don't own and tell them to watch the YouTube today, so that way we can get them on the path of home ownership. So we have so many programs available today, right? We offer FHA, VA, conventional, as I mentioned earlier, renovation loans, jumbo loans. But the key to success of getting into any home is your credit. And I'm gonna tell you guys something, it's not just your credit for your mortgage. Your credit is for your life. Like, in order to be a loan officer, they pull our credit. And if we have things on our credit, they come back and they ask us questions. And that's just my job. So you wanna maintain your credit. And oftentimes people are not homeowners because they are scared to run their credit. We're just like, believe it or not, renting, you actually have to have an average of 660 credit and way more money in the bank today to rent a home than you actually would need to buy. So you want to maintain your credit. You're going to see many lenders, they'll go down to a 540 with 10% down, right? That's an FHA guideline. That's something that can happen. Then you have your 580 score, right? We can get you in the door with a 580. 580, 3%, 3.5% down, we can get you in the door on that property. But you're gonna have higher interest rates, you're gonna have a tougher underwrite, and then your buying power is gonna be less. So yes, we can get you into the property with the 580, but you really wanna see your scores around that 660. 640, 660, now you're opening up to the better down payment assistance programs and things like that you can utilize to get in that home. I tell all my clients, aim for the 680, 700, and if you fall short, you'll still be in a situation where you can get a deal, a down payment assistance program, and a competitive rate. Oftentimes, you're 580, you're in one situation, you're not gonna rate shop, you're in a more desperate situation, and unfortunately, when it's a desperate situation, you can be taken advantage of a little bit. So at Guaranteed Rate, what we do is we always try to give our clients the best possible deal, and we wanna get you the best possible rate. And then say, for instance, you qualify for something today, now we wanna see, okay, if you had the 640 score, how can that affect your interest rate and your payment and you paying off your house faster? So credit is key. So if there's anyone listening or anyone in the room and you don't have good credit, that first step is to get you on track to having good credit, and we can refer you to one of our partners, but we're here to help. So like he said earlier, the person that doesn't ask the question, the person who has bad credit and doesn't get it pulled and doesn't have a one-on-one or doesn't seek help, that's the person in trouble, because you're gonna be stuck in that same situation until you finally take that graduating step out to get to that next level. So once we cover credit, right, got your credit in the door, you have your mindset going, you understand why it's important to own something instead of rent something, now you're walking into pretty much our process. So there are so many myths, like, do I have to let me ask the question, how much money do you have to put down on the property for a conventional loan? What'd you say, sir, in the back?
3%.
3%?
Is it 3? 5?
20.
We got a 20%, we got a 5% in the front, 5% in the back. And so the down payment for a conventional loan is 3% on a 1 unit and 5% all the way up to a 4 unit, right? And then I'm gonna go back into that, but first I wanna tell you, what is the difference between a conventional and an FHA loan? Does anyone know that? Look, I'm engaging my audience today. Come on. I feel like I've been talking. What's the difference between an FHA and a conventional loan?
The FHA would be run by the federal government.
Got it. So yeah, so both of them are different. So the government has 3 engines that work from lending. One is Fannie, one is Freddie, and one is Ginnie. So the conventional world uses the Fannie and Freddie, while FHA uses Ginnie. Ginnie is gonna allow for shorter time on bankruptcies. They're more lenient with lower credit scores. You know, they're getting you in the door with the lowest down payment and sometimes a lower interest rate, but they do have more fees associated with an FHA loan. And there are some things with the FHA loan, it's called mortgage insurance, which on the FHA loan, oftentimes you'll have it for the life of the loan. And because I just updated put another term on you guys, I'm gonna let Nina tell us, what's mortgage insurance, Nina?
Oh, wow. So that's an insurance that a lender requires on the financing if you don't put 20% down on conventional, and it's always required on FHA. So if you were to default on the mortgage, the bank and the lender is protected for a portion of that balance.
Yes.
That's what mortgage insurance is.
Thank you, ma'am. And on an FHA loan, if you don't put 10% down or do a 15-year, meaning you're paying your mortgage off in 15 years, you'll have it for 30 years, right? Or on a conventional loan, after 1 year, if you gain 20% equity, you can send paperwork in to have it come off, or after 10 or 11 years, it'll automatically come off. And the reason why I say that is because conventional loans in most situations is your better situation unless you have some dings to the credit or something like that. So if you're working with a lender and they're not saying anything FHA, they are finding that easier route. You want to know your options for FHA and conventional so you can choose what's best for you and your family. Now the reason why I talk about, okay, y'all got a question in the back, come on through.
Wait, so you said with a conventional loan, there's no insurance or mortgage insurance?
There's no mortgage insurance if you put 20% down.
Okay, and that's PMI, right?
Right, so you got PMI and you got upfront mortgage insurance. So upfront mortgage insurance is what FHA charges on every loan, 200,000, 600,000, 1.75%, right? On every FHA loan, no matter who you are, what your credit is, how much money you're gonna put down, you're gonna put 1.75% down. Conventional is 0, right? So on a conventional loan, and I don't wanna lose you guys, but on a conventional loan, you're putting 3 to 5%, right? FHA, you're putting 3.5, but you're paying 1.75. So in reality, you're putting 5.25% down on an FHA loan because you didn't have that extra 1.5% at that moment. Come
I
on,
just need to point out that, we're struggling with down payment on the FHA side, right? And Natasha's telling us, let's get our credit higher. Why? So you can take advantage of that conventional option. You're putting more money down, you're gonna owe less money. More of the money is going towards principal. We have to get out of the mindset of only the 580 credit score and the 620 credit score. Like, we need to advocate for that. So get your credit pulled immediately.
yes, get your credit pulled, know your credit, know who you are and where you are, and don't worry about where you are. We'll get you to the next level. When I started, can anybody guess what my credit score was when I started? I was 26 when I bought my first property. What would you guess my credit score? Yeah.
782.
525.
525. I think I had a 540 in a dream. And now my credit score is about 720. It fluctuates based upon how I use it, but I never in a million years thought that I would become a homeowner or any of those things because of my family, my background, where I came from. But I had a network like you guys just walked into today, and I was able to walk a different trajectory based on the people that I met. And I want to lean a little more into the conventional, right? So FHA versus conventional, FHA loan limits are not as high as conventional. So on a FHA 4-unit, I would say we're about 900,000 on a 4-unit property. And that's higher than we've ever been because the loan limits are pretty high right now. On a conventional loan, I'm 1.3, 1.4 million. I just saw 1.4 million is probably the new loan limit for 2025. But let me tell you what that means, okay? When we buy property now, we buy where we can afford to live, right? So we may choose Inglewood, or we may choose Bronzeville, or we may choose Woodlawn or South Shore, or Country Club Hills, or whatever it is, based upon being able to put the down payment on a loan limit that makes sense for us. Now with the new loan limits and the 5% down that just started in January, you can now go buy a $1.4 million building in another neighborhood and put 5% down.
You got a business card?
What does that mean for you? So in the different community, the average rents may have been $1,200, $1,800, but now you may have average rents of $3,500. So you still have even a more opportunity to live rent-free, but even raise your kids in a different community versus where we were forced to live based off the loan limit. So a lot is changing where you guys have way more bandwidth than you had before, and I'm so excited because I didn't have that opportunity. I had to buy where the loan limits afforded me to buy. Now with the new loan limits, you really do have an opportunity to go in whatever community you desire, or a lot of different communities that may have not been available before. Any questions so far?
I would love for you to talk about VA. But, sorry.
Okay, so VA is another program, right? It's ran by Jenny, just like FHA. VA is 100% financing, meaning you are putting zero down. And I'm glad she segued into that because we talked about mortgage insurance. On a VA loan, there is 0 monthly mortgage insurance, right? You're still gonna have those upfront fees like an FHA loan, but you have no monthly mortgage insurance on that VA loan. And you can go up to 4 units, 0% down. You have to be a veteran, and if you are a disabled veteran, I think it's 80% or higher, you don't have any property taxes. And I encourage my veterans who don't have to pay taxes. Now you can afford that Olympia Fields 4-unit where the taxes was $30,000 because you don't have to pay those taxes. So definitely take advantage of the situation because it's a very big deal. And many people think the VA loans take longer to close. We are closing loans in 3 weeks. 21 days, we want you to put 30 days on your contracts. If it's a renovation loan, 37 days. And the way that we do that is what I'm gonna go into next. There is a difference between a pre-approval and what I call a pre-approval. Okay, so when you're working with the lender, the first thing you wanna do is get your credit pulled. There is this beautiful thing everybody sees that's called soft pull. It gives us the opportunity to see your debts and know what is going on with your file. A hard pull means that we don't have to pull it again within the time frame, which is 90 to 120 days. So now your credit is locked in with us. I can pull a soft pull on Monday, you can find a property on Friday, and now you don't qualify anymore because something has changed on your credit. So keep in mind, getting your credit pull, once you go into a relationship, I always tell my clients, I'm gonna start you with the soft pull. Once we get into a marriage, I'm gonna pull a hard pull, because when I put my name on a pre-approval, that means we can close in 3 weeks, and I've already pre-underwritten your file. What does that mean? I am collecting 30 days of pay stubs, I am collecting 1 month bank statements, and I am also collecting contact information for your employer where we can verify your employment to make sure there isn't anything weird with your income. We have things called variable income where it changes. I see a question in the back.
Yeah, can you stress how important underwriting is? It's so big.
Underwriting is the key to success. And on the Natasha team, the assistant in the back, we call him Ghost Natasha, he's actually an underwriter, and he moves like the speed of lightning. So it doesn't even take long to do. So sometimes when people hear that, they think, oh, it's gonna be 2 days. It might be 1 hour, it might be 20 minutes, it might be 4 hours, but it's definitely not a long thing. So we're pre-underwriting, and I'm gonna give you guys an example of something that happened to me. Had a client, 780 credit. I'm talking about money in the bank, amazing situation. I didn't run it through automatic underwriting, which is part of our pre-underwriting. Victoria's Secret reported, because she filed bankruptcy like 15 years ago, so it wasn't something that I could see on her credit. Victoria's Secret did some type of update, and they put her late on the, they put her foreclosure or something in the marks of a paid off credit. So when we got the contract, DU wouldn't approve it, right? And it was nothing that I could do about it. Now, if you would have guessed this client, you would have thought slam dunk. So of course, I remember sitting in the Coco Banker office. Now I'm trying to get in contact with Victoria's Secret because it's an error. So I'm a little crazy with what I do. So I actually found the CEO's phone number because he was on a not-for-profit. I left him a message, and 2 days later it was updated. But my point is that had that file been pre-underwritten, we didn't have to do that under contract. So that was years ago, but the point is the pre-underwrite is very important. Another reason why it's important is because a lot of people right now have variable income. What does that mean? I was working overtime, 40 hours a week, now I'm down to 10, right? Pre-underwrite the file, well, guess what? You're not making it now. So even though you made $80,000 last year, you're on track to make $60,000 this year. So before anybody, other loan officer would look at it and they would give them $80,000. Well, when the underwriter looks at it, they're gonna average them off of what they make now. So the underwrite is so important because there's not that many properties available. So when you go under contract, it's not time to get pre-approved. It's time to close on your loan. Because guess what? If we have someone that one of the agents send a bad pre-approval over, now that listing agent is not going to want to accept any of those offers. And I know we have some questions, so I'm gonna wrap up because I think I'm running out of time. So with that being
I actually
said,
was gonna point on what you were saying and what he was saying. I think the common denominator is the loan officer has to do a better job of getting the information to the underwriter. Because once the loan officer does a better job of having everything in order, you know, if verification of rent, if they're using assets, have your last quarter, to give that to the underwriter firsthand, then there's less work that she has to do. And like you said, you should know the average of overtime and not overtime, and you should know how to calculate that and divide that into your new debt ratio. But if we know this as a loan officer before we get it to the underwriter, it's a clear fire.
yes, and that's what we do on the Natasha team. And if you're working with any underwriter or loan officer and they didn't do that for you, then find another one. And then I know we have one more question.
Okay, just to go back a little bit quick, when you were talking about FHA and conventional, can you talk a little bit more when it comes to 2 to 4 units, when you are requiring down payment and reserves, and grants, when you are looking at 2 to 4 units?
Yes, and I'm gonna answer that real quick, and then we're gonna wrap up with that question, but I'm here all day, and I love questions. So on the FHA loan, 1 to 4 unit is 3.5% down, okay? Easy, FHA is straight across the board. VA, 1 to 4 units, 0% down. Conventional, 1 unit, 3% down, 2 to 4 unit, 5% down. She talked about a word called reserves. Reserves are mortgage payments. So if your mortgage payment is $3,000 on a 1 unit, regardless of what it is, FHA conventional, you don't need any reserves. FHA, you need 3 months. Mortgage payment is $3,000, $9,000 in reserves. That is money in your 401k savings that you're not spending in this transaction. Conventional 2 to 4 units is 6 months reserves. So we will end it on that question, and then I'll let Michael come back up. Y'all can talk all day.
Thank you so much, and this is why it's so important to work with a professional team. We're gonna make a change and adjustments because your host, didn't share the time notice. We have, Sean of Excellence Inspection, to present next. Thank you, Sean.
How's everyone doing?
I'm going to encourage those who are standing to have a seat. Before we get started, it's not that serious. Please fill in these seats here. It's not school. We're not marking grades, anything like that. It's not going to.
There's no matter.
Please, exactly. Please, if you'd like to see that, fill in, please.
So I know Natasha had asked a question earlier about how many current homeowners are there. How many, by a raise of hand, how many current homeowners do we have? So I want you to think back, no matter if you've owned your home for 20 years or 5 months, think back to when you did your final walkthrough right before closing. Do you remember, as you were doing your final walkthrough, did you get an extra bedroom in that house? You remember getting an extra bedroom in that house when you did your final walkthrough? Do you remember if there was a new car waiting for you in the garage of that home you were buying? You know, so the thing I want you to realize is there are no good surprises in real estate. There are none. And unfortunately, the surprises do happen in real estate. Sometimes can be pretty rough. So as an inspector, what my job is to really minimize the potential for those rough surprises from happening. You know, so as we're going through the property, so the one thing I want you to take with you is the perfect home for you may not be a perfect home. So think about that. The perfect home for you may not be a perfect home. And what I mean by that is, when you're going through the home buying process with Michael, there are various reasons why you buy a particular property. Obviously location is very important. Number of bedrooms, close proximity to shopping, close proximity to schools. Maybe, you want to be in a particular school district. Maybe that home has an in-ground pool. There are a host of reasons why you purchase a particular home. But some of the things that you actually don't think about is, what is the condition of that home? What is the condition of the roof? What is the condition of the heating system? What is the condition of the foundation? Is there leakage? Does it leak every time it rains, or is it periodic leaking? What is the condition of the electrical system? As Natasha and Nina was talking about VA and FHA, there are certain components of those loan systems that actually depend upon the condition of the home. So if you're purchasing a home with a VA or FHA loan, that home can't have fuses. It has to be circuit breakers. It has to have 100 amps. The furnace has to be working. The roof has to be in good condition. So in reality, there's a very strong kind of symbiotic relationship between all of the participants in this seminar here. In terms of what Michael does, in terms of what the attorneys do, in terms of what the loan officers do. So there's bits and pieces that overlap in terms of our responsibilities, not only to you as the home buyer, but also to the individual people that's on the team as well. So there are, as an inspector, we inspect probably over 450 components of the home, from top to bottom. But I'm gonna drill down to the top 6. So the top 6 for any given home is really the most important conditions, most important concerns of a home. What do you think those top 6 are?
Roof.
Roof.
Okay, roof is one. Roof. So furnace is one. Furnace and air conditioning units, so HVAC. Electrical, so that's 3. Plumbing is 4.
Foundation.
2 more. Foundation. 5, and 1 more. Very important.
Electrical.
Windows.
No, we said windows kind of, but what does that fall under? The exterior. So whether it's brick, whether it's vinyl siding, whether it's metal siding. So all of those various components have various advantages and disadvantages, and they also, to certain extents, also have life expectancies on them. So if you're purchasing a home and let's say that roof is already 20 years old, and that typical roof only lasts about 20 years old, there's a high probability that within the next few years, you're gonna be purchasing a new roof. And it's good to know that, and then still purchase the home versus not be aware of that, and then the next storm comes through, and you're unexpectedly having to spend, you know, $15,000, $20,000 on a new roof. Roofs are extremely expensive. Also, the other thing that, you know, that has happened over the course of this year, and has really been exasperated by the hurricanes that we had down south, is insurance rates have went sky high. And they're very concerned about the condition of roofs. I've had past clients that have reached out to me to do an inspection on their roof because their insurance agent is asking them, hey, is the condition of your roof still good? So it's very important for them when they initially bind you at the time that you're purchasing. So the condition of the roof is important. Electrical, you know, whether, you know, who knows what the standard amperage for an electrical system should be. Let's say in an average single family home, 2,400 square feet. What should it be? 100 amps. You know, if you have 60, that's too small. If you have over 100, that's good. You know, but there are a lot of homes that still have less than 100 amps, or still have fuses versus circuit breakers. Because sometimes it's neighborhood specific. Sometimes, think about it. Let's say, you know, you've been wanting to purchase a home in Beverly for the last, you know, 10 years. You finally get an opportunity to purchase a home, but that home has been owned by the same family for the last 40 years. 40 years ago, 60 amps was standard. You know, now they're not gonna put any more money into the house, so they're gonna give you a discount in terms of the deal, but you're gonna have to upgrade the electrical. You know, so that's a cost that you have to take into account. So if you don't know that, then you get blindsided by it, and now you have to deal with it. If you know that, that's where the inspection process comes in at, is it gives you that information, and now you know this is what I have to deal with. Foundation. Over the last 10, 15 years, maybe, 20 years, people use their basements as livable space now. You know, so what do you think is the number one question when I initially meet a client and I ask them what are their major concerns about the property? What is the number one question, number one answer that they give me? Does the basement leak? You know, that's all. And most basements leak, but they are for various reasons. Sometimes it can be a one-time scenario. Sometimes it can be a chronic scenario. That's where doing the inspection, we're able to determine which is which. You know, just because a basement, sometimes the basement leaks, not because of what's happening in the basement. It could be the gutters are clogged. Now that the leaves are falling, if you don't clean your gutters, you're gonna have a lot of water collecting around the house, which sometimes finds its way in. You know, so basements are extremely important. Plumbing. Who knows the difference between galvanized steel plumbing and copper? I know you know. If you're purchasing a home, let's go back to the Beverly home. You're purchasing a home that the same family has owned for 40 years. More than likely, they're gonna have galvanized steel plumbing. And what do you think typically happens with galvanized steel plumbing? You're taking a shower and water pressure is trickling. You're like, man, you know. Or you see that you go in the master bedroom and there's the master bathroom and there's this really big jacuzzi tub that's there, and it takes 3 hours to fill up. So by the time it fills up, the water's not even hot anymore because of the water pressure. So as a buyer of that house, you want to know, does it have galvanized steel? Does it have copper? Because if you have to upgrade all the piping in that house, it's going to be pretty expensive. You know, so, but if you know, then you can adjust accordingly. If you don't know, now you have to deal with some of these things where you're coming in and maybe you have the money, maybe you got to pop your 401k or get a loan or something like that when you don't have to do that. HVAC, heating and cooling. Depending upon the type of house that you buy, you may have different heating systems. If you're looking at a multi-unit building on the south side, it could be a boiler with radiators. If you're looking at a house in Flossmoor, it could have electric radiant heat where the heat is in the ceiling. Or it could be a forced-air furnace. It could be a forced-air air conditioning unit. Or it could be a combination of, you know, of all of that. So as an inspector, number one, we're trying to determine if those systems work. And then two, what's the age of those systems? And then three, educating you on how you have to maintain those systems. Because it's kind of cool to have those systems, but if you don't know how to maintain them, the first winter, the first summer, you can be having issues, you know, with that. And then last but not least is exterior. You know, so whether it's a brick home, but a lot of people, they want a brick home because they just feel that it's much safer. You know, and to a certain extent it is, but do you know, now let me ask a question, because we also do termite inspections as well. Do you have more chances to have termites in a wood home or a brick home? Huh? Yeah. Yeah, anything that has wood has the potential for termites. So although you think if you're going for a brick home, there's no potential for termites, I would say probably the 3 worst termite infected properties that I've ever inspected were all in masonry homes, all in brick homes. You know, so if there's wood and it's wet wood, there's always a potential for termites. You know, so and then so like I said, exterior, if you have a brick home, you have to do tuck pointing on a consistent basis. If you have a wood siding home, more than likely you're gonna have to have it painted. Because, kind of going to what we were talking about in relation to VA and FHA, if you have flaking paint, it's gonna have to be painted before the deal closes because the VA appraiser is gonna require that. You know, so these are, so you take all of that and that's the information that's provided to you in a condensed report. The typical inspection is usually gonna take about 2.5 hours depending upon the size of the home. The larger the home or the larger the property, the longer the inspection is gonna take. But you're gonna know what the condition of that property is, so that allows you to make a qualified decision based on the condition of that property. And just because certain properties have certain issues, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't buy it. You know, like I said, certain scenarios. If you want to get into Beverly, if you want to get it, if you buy a home that's in great condition, you're probably paying $450,000 or $500,000. But if you want to get into Beverly, you may have to take that house that's at $290,000, but you know you got to do $70,000. But this inspection report helps you because now you know what you got to do. Yes, Attorney Stan.
Yeah, Sean, a question that is, that I hear from potential buyers who have inspectors like you come in and do work, it's the pricing of any challenges that inspectors uncover. What do you say to that? Getting because quite often they're not with you, but on occasions when I've had to see closing credits as opposed to the repairs done by seller prior to closing. You know, we've got to dream up our own numbers.
Right. Pricing can be a challenge. I mean, I've been an inspector now for 20 years, so I'm very familiar with the majority of prices in terms of things that I inspect, but sometimes pricing can be a challenge because as an inspector, unlike what you see on HGTV, we don't have the opportunity to knock down a wall to be able to see the full scope of something. Right. Sometimes we're just seeing the symptoms of something, but we don't know the full scope of it. So I can quote a client, I think this is gonna be $2,500, but then when you get an actual contractor in there and then they start really diving into the scenario, it could be $4,500. So we try to do that, but you also wanna do that, with the caveat that, hey, this may be more once you get a contractor in here, dealing with that. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if it's a better question for you, as an inspector or appraiser, but what is officially considered a bedroom? Because I see a lot of properties where there are, it says it's like 3 bedrooms or 3.5 bedrooms, but there's not closets in 2 of them, where it's like
Right.
a back porch.
Or one in the basement.
Right. I mean,
Or you can't get a king size bed in that
Right.
Right, so
bedroom.
what is, according to,
Right. I think from an inspection standpoint, I don't necessarily have like a designation because I kind of see properties used in various portions. Like I've seen back porches used as bedrooms, and I'm not, and Michael, I would defer to you on this. I don't think that there's an official designation that a room has to have a closet to be determined as a bedroom.
Well, I used to be an appraiser.
Okay.
We do have a real estate appraiser here.
Mhm.
But once you buy the home, you use it as you want to use it. But if there's, Mr. Jones will share.
Right.
Would you like to talk now about that?
Yeah. A bedroom, what was the question?
What's an official bedroom? What qualifies as an official bedroom?
Okay, well, as far as FHA is concerned, it has to be at least 8 by 10.
Okay.
That's what I learned 40 plus years ago. Now, as far as, I have appraised properties all over Cook County. The point being is that people use a space as a bedroom, but they may not have a closet. You can put a cabinet in that space, attach it to the wall, and that would be your closet.
Now, where it does come into play from an inspection standpoint, that when we're doing an inspection on a home and it has a basement, and we see something, and I'll just have this conversation with a client. What's your purpose for this room? Are you gonna use this for a bedroom? And if they say yes, and then if I notice the window, has glass block windows in it versus having a conventional window, then I will put in the inspection report that this window needs to be switched out to what's called a safety egress window. So it's a window that a person can escape from in case there's an emergency, i.e. a fire. Because if you got a glass block window for a bedroom, I mean, that's gonna be a catastrophe, waiting to happen. So there are certain designations that we do talk about, but we don't necessarily make the determination if something's a bedroom, or not, in that regard. So that's it for me. You have my information there. Oh, yes, ma'am.
I bought my home, and when I bought my home, we had that storm in January 2020, and my roof started leaking, so I thought, we didn't kind of find it, it needed another drainage to the siding or whatever, but I found out also that I had 5-year warranty on my roof, brand new roof, and a lot of people that the responsibility still falls back on the developer for the first 5 years of that roof, because it's brand new. Is that true?
I think, was it new construction or?
Yes, it was a renovated home, fully
Okay.
renovated home, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just dependent upon, I think it's important when you're purchasing your property, whether you're purchasing a new construction or if it's a rehab home, to try to identify and make sure that you have all the warranties and you're aware of, especially your attorneys, that they're aware of all the warranties that come with the property. Because there may be some things that you could still take advantage of that if you don't know,
Yeah.
Now you're unnecessarily paying out of pocket for something that's actually covered under warranty.
Exactly.
So yeah, as much knowledge as you can gain through this process, the better you're gonna be as an educated consumer and just an educated homeowner. Because buying the property is just the start of it, but you also have to maintain that property. And just know, please, it can be the most perfect property of all time, but you're gonna have to do annual work on that property. Expect to spend roughly about $2,500 a year on your property. That's just a part of owning a home. Things happen. Doesn't mean that the inspector didn't see it or the developer didn't build it correctly. Things just happen. 2 months ago, storms came through. A lot of things happened that we just didn't have any control over. So that's where it's very important to know that you gotta maintain that home, after you buy it. So, I'm on all, platforms for social media. And then there's a home buyer checklist there. So as you're going through the process of looking at homes, you can kind of use that checklist as a guide to kind of help you, kind of formulate your ideas about that home. Thank you very much for allowing me to be able to speak with you today.
Here's something very important. In real estate, you get what you expect. You have attorneys to negotiate for you. If your realtor is a strong realtor, he'll have, like Stuart 50 pages of contractors in all areas that you can call to get that estimate to negotiate a price. With that, we're running a little bit long. I haven't been controlling the time for the presentations, but we're going through the buyer's process. You have to have a relationship, and your realtors have to have a relationship with all of these people. We have Attorney Statson and Attorney Townsend. Would you like to come up now? Stay tuned. Thank you.
I'll let you go first. Oh, that's it.
We have some of the same things, issues that we be right.
All righty then, fantastic. And the standalone counsel, if I needed representation, I'd give a call.
Okay, well, as I said, my name is Valda Staten. Been a real estate attorney for about 30 years.
Attorney Luke Townsend, I got you beat. Cornell Law 1981, like I said, me and Abraham Lincoln were in the same class. So, but nevertheless, we stand here to serve you as part and be part of this wonderful team. Go ahead.
In my experience, especially with, well, at all levels, when it comes to buying, properties, what I look for and hope for with, would-be buyers is pull your team together as quickly as possible, including, the lawyers. There are occasions when, the contract has been, an offer has been made, it has been, some issues have been negotiated, it's been signed off by both, buyer and seller. The loan source is involved, and there may even be a pre-approval. Sometimes we're pulled in, and it's, all we're waiting for is the inspection report. I mean, the sooner we get in, the better, because there are, there are issues that the contract itself has some timing for when matters are to be addressed and deadlines. And the sooner your council has those, is a part of the circle, a part of the team, the easier it is for your council to get involved in the process. And if there are challenges, questions, concerns, raise them, discuss them with all involved parties, and negotiate some service.
Exactly. In that regard, I did do a small handout. Looks like such and such. And you're right. Now, one thing Council mentioned, she mentioned that there are some time-sensitive dates. Now, one of them that's important is the window of time for inspection.
Yeah.
And the window of time for attorney review. Typically, the 7.0 residential contract puts that at 5 business days. Okay, very important, 5 business days. Now, it is absolutely essential in my mind that you hire competent counsel like the gentleman to my left and an inspector. Because, I might know this or that, and more importantly, first of all, a licensed and competent realtor. Because I think I'm a pretty decent lawyer, but I don't know the various markets. I don't understand pricing. That's not what I do. What we do on the pricings on the buyer side is to assure good title and to assure that your loan documents are in place. And sometimes that doesn't happen until the date of closing and the like. Now, on our handout, one of the things we cite is, we cite the scripture, Romans 8:28 is great. What's that scripture say? It says, all things work together for good for those who love the Lord and called according to his purpose. Now, what's the context here? Guess what? That property that you love and you just had to have and you want to, well, the brother inspector just told you that it's a termite-ridden mess. Let go of it. The process of either selling a home or buying a home. I can't tell you the instances in my life where someone has said, okay, well, I really want this property and blah, 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 but it's not for you. And it turns out that they got an even better deal. Okay. And so for my presentation was put in the context of a first-time home buyer. Okay, now you don't own a doll house, but you want to fret, you want to be uptight, you want to worry the attorney, you want to worry the broker, want to worry the lender. What that's 828. All things work together for good. Okay, so take your time, relax. If you need more time to get a loan, we get extension. You need more time to get an appraisal, we can get your inspection. We can get you an inspection. Turn it over to the licensed and bonded professionals. We're here in the offices of Guaranteed Rate Insurance. Maybe you on the internet don't know who that is. Guaranteed Rate Insurance is the same entity that has the naming rights for White Sox Park, Comiskey Park over here. Well, they had a bad year, I wouldn't claim that. But it had nothing to do with guaranteed rate insurance. What's my point? These people are credentialed, licensed, and able to assure you. I'm talking to someone out there who is struggling with fear, anxiety, not sure. Pick up the phone, reach out to the professionals at Caldwell Banker, reach out to the professionals at Guaranteed Rate, and allow us to serve you in this regard. And you know, if you're gonna worry about it, ain't no sense of praying about it. Give us an opportunity to serve you. Just a couple of things on my touch point list. The importance of, in my mind, and this is another piece, this is not just on the buy side, just brief comments in regard those, you might have a property to sell. Caldwell Baker can help you. But you don't you're not set up. You don't have your property in trust. You don't have your property able to move without going through probate. And my comment well, they quote, those are my kids. They know my family. No, the Circuit Court of Cook County does not know that Ray Ray is your son. You need to have a land trust. You need to move these assets seamlessly. And understand this, when you purchase property, get the permission of your lender, oftentimes you can acquire the property in trust such that you can avoid the expense and the aggravation of probate. You won't have that burden amongst your children. Another talking point, one of the services we work with properties that are in foreclosure, sales, and purchase. No reason to be scared of a foreclosure or property that's in foreclosure. You have our offices. We don't have a title company represented today, but we have the ability to make a search and make sure that that property is legit. By reference,
The process will be slower.
it may be slower, but ultimately you can get sometimes property that's undervalued. And my comment was, we're looking for broken glass and tall grass. What does that mean? You can easily replace a window. You can easily mow the lawn. So don't be, scared, if you will, about a property that needs a little tender, loving care, because there's value there. There's value there that you can benefit yourself from. And just brief, also want to reference what I call my comments here. When you're acquiring property, consider having life insurance in place, disability insurance in place. Don't want to, I'm just very a personal vignette. I lost my father to cancer when I was 12 years old. My mother and dad had just purchased a little 4-flat here in South Shore. And they were at the closing table. Back then, they offered you life insurance at the table. And my dad said, no, we don't need that, we're a young couple. But my mom said, well, let's just get it and just wait and see. Little did he know that he would lose his life to cancer less than 5 years later. But that policy paid off that property. What am I saying? Keep that in mind. Keep these things in mind. It's not just enough to acquire these properties without life insurance, disability insurance, and an estate plan to go with it. And at the bottom here, I quote a couple of scriptures. And one of them is, without vision, the people perish. Again, have faith in your team here to deliver you to where you want to be. And another scripture you might not be too familiar with, it says that, but if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith, and he is worse than an infidel. That's Timothy 5 and 8 in the King James. What's that saying? Get your house in order. Get your business affairs in order. When you go into these transactions, be mindful of the details and trust the team, your attorneys, Caldwell bankers, the guaranteed rate to deliver to where you need to be ultimately. So with that, I'm not going to pass the plate, but you get the idea. So thank you for your time and the opportunity to address you.
Thank you.
All right, amen, amen, amen. All power and glory. It's amazing what we're learning today. Ordering our steps, so thank you so much. So we're taking you again through the process of negotiating and acquiring an asset. Asset management is what the attorney just spoke about. It starts at the very beginning. At this point, we would like to introduce an appraiser, William Jones. Bill Jones. Highly qualified.
appraiser, 203K consultant, licensed general contractor, and renovation consultant. Now, for those that are gonna buy property, I suggest that you have your attorney to put in the contract, subject to finances, be it FHA or VA or a renovation loan. That way, if the deal does not go through, you can get your earnest money back. I've had an experience with two or 3K deals where the attorney for the seller kept the earnest money. So as a protection, be sure to put in the contract, subject to a mortgage being successful, okay? As far as any questions for being an appraiser, please ask.
What do you base your numbers on when you do the appraisal?
Comparable sales in the area, okay? I tell people, that's a good question. I tell brokers, when they, to meet the appraiser, don't just put a lockbox on the house and tell them, okay, the code is this and that. Meet the appraiser there with recent sales similar to the subject property, and give it to the appraiser that comes out. You're not demanding him to use, or her, to use these sales that you brought, but you've done your homework to let him know that you know what the market is. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How many miles can you go out from the subject home if the property doesn't, if the property?
Typically, it's 1 mile, but if I can't find comparables in that area, I might go maybe 1.5 miles to 2 miles, but I'll stipulate in the appraisal, there was no recent sales in the immediate area, but I went to a similar demographic area to pull that particular count. Yes, ma'am.
How far do you go back?
A year, or 18 months. Go back, it's our time, right? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't know you could, so when you're, so I just sold a house in the summer. I didn't know that I could request like my appraiser. I thought the banks assigned an
No,
appraiser.
you can't. They went into lender select program FHA did years ago, which was a mistake. They called themselves trying to, make the appraiser or appraisal independent. But it was a mistake because the lender, they went to, appraisal management companies. Okay? To me, those are pimps. I don't work for appraisal management company. Why should you get a part of my fee? I charge $500 for people like yourself. I get $550 from VA. I get $600 from Cook County Probate Court. I set my fees, these are my fees. I'm not gonna share my fee with an appraisal management company.
If I 1 through 4 units, how much was charging that and commercial?
If it's a 2 to 4 unit for VA, it's $750. Yes, ma'am.
If you have a property, let's just say that was built in 1912, then you have a property built in 2024, you gutted this property, and then this is a brand new property, same in size. You got this and you got that. How do you appraise on the same block?
I don't use that new construction. What I do,
Can't, or
I don't, and I'll tell you why. Because you can't compare a new house to a house that's been renovated, all right? What I would do, you have to do some work, find similar properties, same age, same close room count, and adjust for the renovation. That's what I do, okay? For example, if I know that this house has been renovated because I'm a 203K cost estimated, I can estimate the cost to renovate a particular property. That's part of my adjustment as far as quality of construction.
So if I put that house, the new house on a block with the older houses, and you can't compare, how many miles can you go outside to get the property?
At most, a mile and a half.
Say it again, please.
I'm sorry?
Say it again, please.
1 mile and a half.
No exceptions.
I'm sorry?
No exceptions.
How do you?
No, there's gotta be something, look, if there's something in that area, and you make an adjustment, see, you have to adjust for room count, air conditioning, garage, finished basement, you make adjustments. I pull up 3 comparables, similar to the property, and then some of them may have air, some of them may not. You make adjustments, and then you can get to the proverbial bottom line, that's the value. Yes, sir.
Now, I'm proposing to build brand new concrete homes in Edgewood, Auburn, Gresham, Grand Crossings. How am I gonna get the appraisal value for my new homes when they definitely can't be compared to what's there existing? And there's nothing new within a mile and a half, because there's been no investment in the areas.
You have to go to a similar area where we've done new construction in this state. You're making an extraordinary assumption that your development is gonna be similar to that development, but you have to, tell the appraiser and the lender, whatever mortgage company that you're gonna use to finance your subdivision, what the deal is, and then, you know, explain it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
putting up your own money.
Yeah, I'm putting up my own money,
Yeah.
but this is my next question. So if I'm using something like this, that's totally different, totally compared to standard wood houses that are here now.
What is it?
Foam insulation.
See, and this is what most people don't understand. This is insulated concrete form. So you run the rebar through it, fill it with concrete, you already got the insulation built in, 500-pound tensile strip on these seams right here, to hang your drywall and anything else.
This is new.
Correct. 40 years old. Disaster resilient, bomb-proof, bulletproof.
Okay, but the point, okay,
It's new to Chicago.
This market.
there you go. It's new to Chicago.
Okay.
Okay. So then you probably need to sit down with the appraiser and talk to him.
Okay.
Or her about what you're doing and the cost savings
Okay.
as compared to what's there already, or what's been typically used, concrete. Okay?
All right.
Looks like an improvement.
It is.
It is a substantial
So-
improvement.
What Mr. Jones is saying, there's, comparisons based on similarity. Then you might have to do a reproduction, price comparison. You might have to do instead of a replacement cost, comparison. And sometimes you have to go out of that 1.5 mile radius. And this is why you have a professional insured and bond. But communications, eye to eye,
You gotta talk,
gotta talk.
communicate.
Yes.
Any more questions?
One of
There's
you.
one more.
One more.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
For the new construction, at what point of the process should you bring in an appraiser?
I can't hear you.
For new construction,
Yes.
at what point of the process should you bring in an appraiser? Should you wait until it's built, or should you bring in an appraiser to see, like before, or
Like, can you get an
drawings?
appraiser to look at the plans and make a guesstimate on the valuation?
That's a good question and a good point. Even though when you're financing a property, the lender is gonna send out their own appraiser. It behooves you to get an appraisal done prior to,
Amen.
for your
Yeah.
benefit.
Yeah.
For your benefit, so you know, there's 3 things that I do for investors. I tell them what the as-is value is, I can tell you what the renovation cost will be, and then the after rehab value. If you don't know those 3 numbers, you're shooting in the dark, okay? okay? But did that answer your question? Okay.
Early and often.
Exactly. Yeah, I was at the Deal Makers Conference held the Union League Club about a week ago, and that was one of the issues in terms of, this is private equity, funding larger developments in like City of Chicago. That was one of the issues that popped up, and that's absolutely right, that you want to get, it's like before and after, if you will, appraisal, but otherwise we can't really monetize and figure out what the lending value is and what the deal value is. So you're exactly right, you need to get involved before
And
now.
it gives your realtor and the seller negotiation power, especially in commercial real estate, but residential as well. Because sometimes you get that home inspection, you get that appraisal in advance, and you know your game. Prepare your strategy.
And don't be afraid to spend some money.
True, that part,
No.
that part.
For the home inspection and your private appraisal
Right.
done. So you got the home inspection and you got an appraisal based on similar properties in the area. When I go out to do appraisals sometime, it's a ranch, 3-bedroom ranch, living room, dining room, kitchen, finished basement, and the broker might bring me a comp that's a Georgia, bring me a split level. I'm not gonna use them. Ranch is a ranch, one level, okay? I will use, in a hard case situation, a split level, maybe. But I would have researched the area to make sure that why I cannot find 3 ranches similar to the subject property. I can adjust for a 3rd bedroom, or air conditioning, or garage, or a deck, or patio. Okay? But again, don't be afraid to spend some money, because that's peanuts compared to the investment that you make in buying a house or investing in a house. Okay? Any questions? Okay, now, yes, ma'am.
I have a zoning question,
You have
a
one?
zoning question.
Okay.
And I have a real life scenario that is happening right now.
Okay.
So I have we have a property in process, it's a 3-unit with a garden. The city of Chicago has zoned this property as a 4-unit. Your appraiser says it's a 3-unit with an accessory dwelling unit.
No. Cause I have one just like that. It's a 2-flat in South Shore. They tried to tell me it's a 3-unit. And I told them, send me the zoning from the city of Chicago saying that this is a legal basement apartment. They say, God, to me, it's a basement apartment, all right?
Okay, yeah.
And that's what it is, all right? So they sent me the zoning, the city of Chicago stated a certification that it is an apartment. So I used that zoning, I put it in my report, copy scan or whatever, and put it in the report saying that this is a legal 3-unit property. Although when you look at it, it's a 2-flat, but the city of Chicago zoned it as a basement apartment. Okay? But some realtors and realtists wanna say that it's an apartment down there. Unless you can show me that a municipal authority is saying that this is a legal apartment, I'm not gonna appraise it that way. Yes, ma'am.
Well, no, I'm just saying, we provided the zoning to the appraiser, and he came back and is saying, sorry, city of Chicago, sorry, lender, sorry for you guys. I'm still saying it's a 3.
So what?
We can talk.
Is it a lender's specific, a lender?
I am the lender.
Okay.
I am the lender, and I'm advocating on behalf of all parties, so it's all of us against the appraiser, but then everybody's blaming me. So they don't know I'm fighting for them.
What does the city say?
It's a 4-unit. I got the zoning.
So it's a 3-flat with a basement apartment?
Yes.
Okay, If the city of Chicago says it's a legal apartment, then it's a legal apartment. Then what you should do, put a complaint against the appraiser to the state of Illinois Department of Public Regulation.
I don't wanna do that because I'm a little upset about it. I
Why
have a
not?
few days
Why,
to close.
no, stop, please. Why not? That's the problem. That's the problem that some people have. They're too scared.
It's not scared. I wanna abide by the client. They wanna close on a few days, they're trying to close. I will do it after the fact.
See, again, there is, I wasn't gonna bring this up, Diane. There is racial bias in appraising property. And the technical, sophisticated term is people of color. I say black people, okay? There is racial bias in appraising. About, and I would say it's maybe 45%. The other 55% is geographical incompetence. But they come in from West Hill and don't know what South Shore is, or Chatham, or Hyde Park and Jackson Park Highlands, or Beverly. I did years ago a property in Jackson Park Highlands, mansion type house, okay? I went to Hyde Park, which you count, and I went to Beverly. Those are demographically similar neighborhoods. Okay? You have to, think beyond what's in front of you, okay? So does that help? But again, I got a big problem, and realtors and realtors don't complain about the appraisals that they're getting back. I've had people from the Dearborn Real Estate Board, I've told them, I said, if you got a problem with an appraisal value, send me a copy of it so I can review it. I may have gotten one. The point being is that you gotta learn how to fight for your business, fight for your values, okay? Any more questions? Okay. Now, in closing, because I know I'm past 5 minutes. Okay, get your brokers, realtors, if you like a property and get an appraisal done. I mean, I know sometimes you come up with some, what was it, CMA?
Comparative market
Right,
analysis.
right.
And I've got somebody who can pull it up right
To me,
now.
okay, to me, being an appraiser for 45 years, that's toilet paper.
So like Zillow,
That's toilet paper.
stuff like that.
If you want the true value, get an appraisal done on the property. The CMA can kind of give you a range, but if you're fighting for your deals, you're fighting for your clients, get an appraisal done. If you don't, that's fine, but I suggest is spend a little money and get the appraisal. If you want that house, have comparables that substantiate the value. Thank you.
So, the cost for Stuart Wilker's question, what's the average cost of an appraisal?
500.
About 500, he said. The average cost for your appraisal?
For private appraisal, 500, VA, I get 550, for single family house, from 2 to 4, I get 750.
All right.
That fee is worth it. If you buying a house for $200,000, that's peanuts.
Peanuts. So we're talking functional utility, we're talking about super adequacies, we're talking about comparative properties. There's a lot involved, and that's why a professional should be engaged with you on your home buying process. So congratulations for being here. Everybody, amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's take a wave to our part of our audience. Hello there. How's everybody out there? Oh, wave to the camera. There you go, we got a smile, a couple of waves. So thank you for joining us. At this point, so there's a lot of ways to negotiate in acquiring a home. You can negotiate the price, the repairs, but you're buying a home for the first time, and how's the furnace? How long is that gonna last? How long is the water heater gonna last? How long is any mechanical air conditioner? So you can negotiate a home warranty into the price or get one yourself for new or current construction. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Janice Strickland, American Home Shield. She warranties our home and my mother's home. Janice?
So I am Janice Strickland. I'm the market manager for the Chicago and Northwest Indiana areas. I go all the way down to Champaign. If anybody's moving that way, I can help you too. American Home Shield has been in business for over 50 years. We're actually the warranty company that started it all. We are throughout the entire United States. So what a home warranty is we are not homeowners insurance. We are different. We kind of work hand in hand with them. We cover major mechanicals of your home and your appliances, depending on which plan you choose. American Home Shield has 3 different plans to choose from, and I'm going to tell you how to use it with your purchase also, if you want to. But I just want to give you a couple statistics here real quick. 35% of HVAC claims are on units under 10 years old. So 45% of our appliance claims are under units 5 years or younger. And 25% of water heaters are 5 years or younger for the claims. So items don't have to be old to break down. So companies that are building these things are not building them the way that our moms and our grandmas, we still have those gold refrigerators in the garages or in the basement, right? So, and they're gonna run forever, but the ones that are being built nowadays are not. So, American Home Shield has the 3 different plans. We have our Shield Essential plan. It covers the furnace, air conditioning, hot water heater, plumbing, electric, garage door openers, ceiling fans, whole house attic fans, and doorbells. And then we have our Shield Plus plan. Shield Plus covers everything Shield Essential did, but it also covers appliances up to $4,000 per appliance. So refrigerator with ice maker and water dispenser, stove, cooktop, built-in ovens, built-in microwaves, dishwasher, garbage disposal, washer, and dryers. If you are purchasing a home or have a home that has multiple kitchens or multiple laundry rooms, all of that equipment is covered. So you do not have to pay extra to have your second laundry room covered. Then we have our Shield Complete plan. Shield Complete covers everything Shield Essential and Shield Plus does, but it has $7,000 of appliance coverage per appliance. It has unlimited coolant, so if your air conditioner needs to be recharged, it covers it all. Shield Essential and Shield Plus cover $10 per pound. Right now, I'm not sure if you know this, but Freon is going away.
Yes.
So if you need your air conditioner recharged, it's over $300 a pound to get the Freon put back in, okay? And then we have $1,000 of modifications and code violations. So I like to think of a home warranty as a cost savings plan. We are not a pay everything, we are a cost savings plan. So let's say that your furnace goes out, because it's furnace time, it's supposed to be anyway. So the furnace goes out, we repair or we replace it. Let's say that it goes to replacement. American Home Shield covers the new unit, the installation, and the removal of the old unit. So if gas lines, electric, the ductwork that goes with the new unit, because you can't just take a furnace out and put it right back in and everything's fitting perfect, right? So that is the homeowner's responsibility. Shield Complete plan has $1,000 of those costs covered with it. It also has one HVAC tune-up a year included with it. So if you need to get your furnace or your air conditioner tuned up, we offer that in the spring and in the fall. And if you have one of the other plans, we also offer it. This year, it's only $100 per unit. So, and they come out, they clean everything, they make sure the thermostat's running properly, and items like that. American Home Shield has what we call livable and forgivable. Livable and forgivable means that we cover items that has rust and corrosion. Undetectable pre-existing condition. What could that be? Not all home inspections do a mechanical test on furnaces. So an undetectable pre-existing condition on a furnace could be a cracked heat exchanger. So, and that is automatic replacement. Okay? So we cover single family homes, and I have my flyers, you all have them. Those prices are up to $5,000 square feet. If you get bigger, then it's, price, then you call me, I'll get you the price. We cover condos, townhouses, mobile homes. We cover new builds from year 2 to year 5. We start at year 2 because everything in a new build is under manufacturer's warranty, so we do not cover anything that's under manufacturer's warranty. But if you have the home warranty in place and that manufacturer's warranty expires, then it automatically is picked up by us. You don't have to call or anything like that. We cover, I already said that. Oh, we cover duplexes or 2 flats, 3 flats, and 4 flat buildings. So if you're buying something for an investment property, everything would be covered under that price. That also is not on here, but you can call me again and I will get those prices for you. How that works is as long as it is not a shared item. So let's say that they have one furnace for the building, but everything else is separate, all the appliances and everything, that furnace would not be covered, okay? So if you're buying one that has, everybody has their own furnaces or everybody has their own water heaters, that is, everything would be covered then, okay? Does anybody have any questions?
I do. I had a scenario, as a homeowner. I had I'm gonna say 3,000 square foot home. I had a unit for the downstairs level, a unit for the upstairs level. The unit on the downstairs broke. American Home Shield came out. They tested the unit. They said it was a leak. They did a dye test. They put, at that time, they put Freon back in it. 2 weeks later, went out again. So keep in mind, I'm paying $100 every time they come out. And they are doing dye tests and, oh, we can't replace this and we can't replace that, but all we can do is do the dye test. So the unit downstairs accepted the Freon, then the unit upstairs went out. So again, I'm paying $100, $100. Meanwhile, I say all this to say, American Home Shield was great within the first 5 years. However, for me, it never replaced my unit. It's like they never wanted to replace the unit because I had 2 units and square footage in my house. So I called management, I went up the chain, but at the end of the day, my units didn't get replaced, and I just sold the house and moved.
Okay, so with that, with an item like that, you should not, if the Freon went back out again and it was within 30 days, you should not be paying a $100 service fee again. So, the one thing about being in my territory, your agents know that I am here to help you also. So, had I known, I would have stepped in and I would have tried to get that replaced. We do repair or replace them. So that's the one thing. You're not necessarily getting a replacement first thing off. If we can fix it, it will be fixed, because otherwise we would be out of business. Okay?
So are you saying now that before you call an 800 number and you just get whoever picks up the phone, Now, are you saying it's changed and now you get an assigned agent when you sign up?
No. Well, I'm in the territory, so I work with all of the agents in the city, okay? So if you call the 800 number and you do the whole thing where you get assigned to someone, they come out, the second time around, you call them again and you get a recall if it is within those 30 days. If you have any issues after that, you give me a call.
Okay.
And I can get it expedited to have somebody look at it.
Okay.
I can't promise you
Of
any
course.
of it, but I can promise you that I will look at it and I will send it to the expert. You won't get that person on the 800.
Okay, and your name again?
Janice.
Janice.
Strickland.
All
My
right.
cards are here, they're all over the place.
Thank you, thank you.
We have one question and we'll move on to the next.
Yeah, two quick questions.
Oh, two. Good.
First quick question is there a stipulation or requirement whether or not it's replaced or repaired? Like, if you buy a property and the furnace is 15, 20 years old, you know what I'm saying, they say normally around that age they go out. Are you all, like, is there any stipulation, like,
If
with
they,
that?
if they can repair it, they will repair it. But American Home Shield has and we just started it this past year, where we have an HVAC tune-up, an HVAC upgrade program, that if you want to replace your furnace, you can actually do that. We send someone out for free. They come out, they check out your furnace and everything, and then they give you quotes that you can then, instead of going through warranty, you can then purchase your furnace from American Home Shield and save up to 50%.
So there is no actual requirement of the unit can only be 15 years old before
No.
actually.
No, you can replace it every 5 years if you wanted to.
Okay.
Okay. We also have the same thing for appliances, so if you're buying a property and you're flipping it, or, you're buying a multi-unit and you need new appliances, if you go through American Home Shield, you can actually save up to 50% on those also.
Okay, and then last question, are there any incentives if you have multiple rental properties?
No. If you become an agent, I can help you a little bit, but no, we don't. But with you buying your property, so a great way that I have had many people winning their offers is that they offer to purchase their own, these are the houses that don't come with a warranty. They offer to purchase their own American Home Shield home warranty and include the seller's coverage on that. What that's going to do for you, seller's coverage is only $60 additional, nothing's due till closing. But if something is found during home inspection and it is under the Shield Essential Plan, so it's the furnace, air conditioning, hot water, heater, plumbing, electric, garage door opener, ceiling fans, full house attic fans, and doorbells, if it is covered under that, it has potential to be covered for the seller's coverage. So if something's found during home inspection. If something breaks down before closing, again, those items have potential to be covered for that. And I've had quite a few buyers winning their offers by doing that. Another thing is that when a seller offers a home warranty, they have to pay it upfront. The buyers can actually pay it in 3 payments, or they can do monthly payments after closing. So you're not charged anything. So, but a little bit how to work your home warranty. We have a trade service fee when you call. We have a trade service fee. Let's say that your ice maker went out on your refrigerator. So you call us, you pay the $125 trade service fee, and we send out an appliance man. He comes, if he has the parts with him, he repairs it. If not, he orders the parts and then schedules an appointment with you to do it. But let's say you have your ice maker, one of your burners on your stove, and your washing machine's not working. If you call all 3 of those in on the same day at the same time, you pay 1 trade service fee because they're all appliances. Okay? That's how I use my warranty.
Well, how long does the process start to finish, just real quick?
Pardon?
We're gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
We're running out of time.
You know, we have time, please.
Okay, so if you have your air and your furnace isn't working at the same time, you can call those in at the the same also, okay?
So, thank you so much. With that, Mr. Jones would like to say a few things about FHA. We have a special person that's gonna award your prizes, and then we have our primary speakers to talk about modular homes and affordable home construction. Very unique, you won't hear it anywhere else.
I forgot to mention that I'm also a 203K HUD consultant, which means I estimate the cost to renovate properties. The point being, any deal is a possible 203K. If you get a nice house, but you don't like the kitchen or the bathroom, you spend minimum of $5,000, that's a 203K program. If you wanna do new construction, you can do new construction provided there's 25% of the old foundation in the ground. So you can do new construction on a property, a vacant lot that has 25% of the original foundation. You can build on that and expand. But the 203K is a good program. Some people are afraid of it. They think it's too timely, too troublesome. All you need is two things: a good renovation consultant and a good loan officer, like Natasha Robinson, that knows the ins and outs. It can expedite the process. Okay, thank you.
All right.
I'll just add that you need a good contractor too.
Of course, no.
I've done
I'm
this
glad-
twice.
You just wrote my interest.
I've done it twice,
No,
two
no.
homes that I've,
What, now,
I was
okay.
this small, up to. No, I'm just a regular person that has
I'll
utilized the
add-
203K program.
I would add that third person, the general contractor.
Yes.
You have to have a good general contractor, not a handyman. You've got handymen out here pretending to be general contractors. I see it every day.
My
Okay?
first one was a disaster.
If the contractor has to get some references from that general contractor, okay? Because the major thing with contractors, they don't have any money. Because with the 203K program, when I put an estimate on the renovation cost, when it closes, the money is sitting there in the pot. It's sitting there. Contractor, do your job. I'm the HUD inspector. I'm gonna come back out there and check the work. I want a list of what the contractor wants to get paid for and what he wants. And then I'll take pictures of it. I'll turn in the draw requests with the lien waiver. That's what I do, okay? But make sure you got a good general contractor. Once you get the deal going, and you give the contractor no money up front, not one dime. Okay? The money is there, in the pot. Do the work. I tell the buyer, call me, and I'll come out and look at the work. If I agree, no problem. But get a good contractor that's got money in the pocket, credit cards, or line of credit, insurance and bond, to get, with the lender is gonna qualify the contractor to make sure that, I'm looking at you, Elvin first, but, okay, so does that answer your question part two of the case? Thank you for your time.
All right, let's give Bill a round of applause. Everybody's been sitting for a while, so please stand up and, come on, get your Elvis pose on.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, we're about to have our, there you go, how's that?
Halloween, so right around the corner.
So we are going to have our drawings. Who has number 2? All right, please come up. Get some exercise. All right, thank you. Great question, thank you so much. Everybody exercise your hands a little bit. There we go. Drawing number 1, who's got number 1? Look, lucky winner here. All right, well, thank you so much for coming. I have to verify, yes. All right, and here he goes again. Get that back on. Which number is this? 3. Another fabulous audience participant, thank you so much. Oh, don't have to verify, right? And we'll have more awards afterward, but now, very importantly, we'd like to introduce you to two very important people. We'll start with Maddie Carter. Maddie, and Maddie, say hello to everybody online again.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to bring some people with me to join me in this conversation to make sure you get the best home designs from Stair Liberty. All right. Because we're moving real fast, I'm gonna read a little quickly on my phone because I don't have my paper. Okay. But I'm going to bring up the screen so you can see the design.
Excuse me, Superman.
Yeah.
Speak a little louder.
Sure, I definitely will. Yeah. Let me get everything going. Start this presentation, right?
Well, while she's getting started, I'm super excited to see her presentation. How about that?
Great.
So, I'll ask a question.
Yes.
As all this information is like phenomenal, what do you suggest for someone who, like, let's just say in my case, right? I just so happened to see this event on Eventbrite, and it's not something that I was actually looking for, but I was like, you know what? Just check it out, right? So, and even this morning, getting ready, I was kind of like, you know, do you really have to? I know I'm not ready yet, but in my soul, it was like, just go. And you never know, because I already know that even though I may not be ready today, but this, like I said, like I've been saying, this is a seed to get my mind ready, to motivate me, and to have something to focus on in that direction, on that path. But I will admit, like, hearing all this is like, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because you feel like, I'm at zero, and I'm even at negative zero.
I doubt that. I don't think you're at zero. You have you've done the networking piece. There's a lot of qualified individuals in this room to assist you. You're not at step zero. I think the first thing is ensuring, like figuring out what you wanna do. The second thing is introducing yourself to at least 4 people. I can tell you here, we can talk about that, once the presentation is over. There's at least 4 people I think you should, walk away knowing, not only you knowing them, but also them knowing you. And then after that would be the, getting started on getting your looking at your credit profile. Your credit may be perfect. There's people who haven't even looked at their credit. They're at that 680. They're completely financeable. They just never made the connections necessary to get started. So, you've done the networking part. I want to get you introduced to a couple of people. And then after that is looking at your profile and seeing how prepared you are and what preparation needs to happen.
Hi everyone, and I want to thank you guys for joining us with DCD in this housing forum, okay? Stair Liberty Consultant is excited to bring insight and solutions to transform our communities, okay? My name is Maddie Carter, and I'm the owner and founder of Stair Liberty Consultant. I earned my master's from Chicago State University and my bachelor's in economic urban development and also certified community development. I'm dedicated to harnessing the power of family value and sustainability practice to uplift our underserved neighborhoods. That is my main focus. A lot of stuff I do is not just modular, it's EV charging, where we do share revenue with the communities we're building, okay? As an urban planner, I wanna ask a couple of questions. Can someone share with me what needs you see in your community that you feel should be paid more attention to? Can I hear someone ask?
Walkability.
Walkability? Anyone else?
I've got an electric car that needs charging.
There we go. Anyone else?
Safety,
Who?
safety.
Safety, okay. Anyone else?
Business ownership.
Business ownership, more entrepreneurs in our community, right?
Economic inclusion.
Economic inclusion, all right.
Seeing the dollar go around more than one time in our community.
Let's
There you go.
circulate our
That's
own
the key.
dollars, right?
That's the key
Let's
right
keep
there.
our money circulating. Now, because I'm a modular facility that be utilizing robotics, I'm starting to trust more into the AI technology because this is the same system that will be building your homes with. It's based on efficiency, accuracy, and definitely the proven ability to bring you the best style of homes, okay? According to AI, the needs in the community that we're in, one significant need I've noticed is the lack of affordable housing options. Many families struggle to find suitable places to live that fit within their budget. Additionally, these are strong demand for accessible public transportation and community resources, entrepreneurship, and also resources such as parks and also recreational areas. Now, I have another question. Can someone tell me what has happened in your community that has uplifted the value in your community? What have you seen changes that brought a lot more value to your community that has not been done in the past years?
Unfortunately, gentrification.
So that is a value to your community, gentrification?
No, that's what's brought value to the community.
Oh, they brought value, okay, right, so, okay,
What's caused value in our community.
okay. We're here at Still Liberty, we definitely don't aim to gentrify at all. Hopefully our program get into the details where I say that share revenue, where we're building a program that help homes that's already established, brick and mortar, that's already existing. Because we're building beautiful homes in these communities, right? So they're gonna be sitting next to homes that could possibly be gentrified and moved out. We're gonna hopefully set up a program later on, that is our goal, to set up a program that will give at least $10,000 to the first 50 homes that will be able to bring in, it'll be contribute to either your windows, your porches, your roof, whatever that's, that is needed, and then those of senior living, we'll be able to send someone out there and do a full evaluation of those homes. So that is our aim goal for us to share revenue when we start building our homes in these communities. So we can prevent those gentrifications from happening.
So, that's a good business neighbor. That's what we're missing in our communities, good business neighbors.
Yes, thank you so much, Michael. Can someone tell me what challenge they see in home ownership?
Deferred maintenance.
Deferred maintenance? Anyone else?
Affordability.
Affordability? Okay. Challenges in home ownership, some common challenges include skyrocketing property prices, insufficient access to affordable finance options, and complexities of the mortgage application process. Many potential homeowners will also face obstacles such as inadequate credit histories or job instability, which can hinder the ability to secure a home. Okay? Here at Still Liberty Consultant, we're working hard to bring workforce programs. These workforce programs will give opportunity for those who are going into engineering, architect, project management, IT technology. We are giving you the opportunity, there's people the opportunity to work internship, learn the trade within our facility that are coming from the community it is thriving in, okay? So we are bringing people from the community for job opportunity, train them, get them ready. Even if they don't stay with us, they are now have the capability to now advancing into the space of now wanting to own homes. The next final question for this is, what does a thriving community look like to you when it comes to sustainability? Anybody know what a thriving community would look like? Less abandoned homes, walkability.
Right.
Definitely. excellent, good businesses in the neighborhood. A thriving community in terms of sustainability will prioritizing green spaces. We didn't hear the green spaces. The breathing, remember, we had COVID, we need all our green spaces for breathing, right? Efficient public transportation and renewable energy sources. It would have access resource for recycling, waste management, support a local food system through community gardens, encourage programs that promote environmental education. Most importantly, such as community would foster inclusiveness, sorry, racist, okay? Ensuring everyone has a voice in local decision making. At Steer Living Consultant, first of all, let me just tell you, Maddie Carter is a certified community developer, okay? Everything about what I do in the planning, from building this manufacturing facility to the restaurants that I'm gonna bring as well, and EV charging station, is all built around sustainability and thriving and energy efficient. Our homes are built at $240 per square foot, which includes in every home all electrical appliances, EV charging stations, which are electric students who have the option to upgrade your electric charging stations, which comes with a different price range, of course, and garage. So your house is fully energy efficient starting out, and it's a full-term building. Now, can someone tell me what they understand? I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Hey, Tony, can you mute your, Tony? Can everyone mute their screen? Hello? I'm gonna have to turn it all the way out. Family, sorry. All right, you guys. He's coming on anyway. Is that okay? I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. All right. What do we know about modular? Do anyone know anything about modular housing?
Nothing. Are we talking about like tiny houses or are we talking
Tiny
about?
homes?
What is it?
Prefab?
Yeah, prefab. I've looked into it. About
Awesome. You know anything about it? You know a little bit? Okay, okay. Now let me ask you, what do you know about brick and mortar? The whole room should know everything about brick and mortar, right?
from the ground up.
Okay, ground up from brick and mortar, right? Well, let's dive into why modular construction is on the rise. This approach isn't just passing the trend, it's strategically choose to deliver speed, efficiency, and quality. Modular construction allows us to significantly reduce build times while enhancing quality through controlled factory production. It minimizes waste on site disruption, making it a smart and practical choice in today's ambitious construction landscape. Traditional methods, on the other hand, can slow down and fraught with delays in which we can no longer afford. This understanding drives us at Steer Living Consultant. We've committed to deploying our cutting-edge modular robotic system on the south side of Chicago. Our facility is poised to produce over 640 homes annually, starting at an incredible competitive rate of $240 per square foot. To put that in perspective, families can secure a 1,200 square foot ranch-style home at just $288,000, and that's fully built out, everything from ground up.
Can you repeat the square footage on that?
$240 per square foot, and that would be a total of $288,000, fully built out. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, all appliances included, including garage and EV chargers.
Well, what's the question, what is the average square footage of that?
The average square,
The
that's
size of
1,200.
the house.
That was 1,200 square.
1,200 square foot, okay, thank you.
Is that on slab or is it basement?
Okay, now, that's what we get to next, when we get to talking. Now, that's just on concrete foundation. Once you start adding the addition of our foam foundation, that will be a tool of that, we're gonna have Mr. Link talk about, the square footage. It's between the max, I believe, is $75 per square foot, but he's gonna go more into detail. We've partnered with, Mr. Link and Mr. Tony, Kokomo, who are great friends of mine. They're with the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, and they work really well with the owner, Larry Ivory, and that's how I met them through going downstates and participating in a lot of things that were needed to fight for Black entrepreneurship. So they're very knee-deep into what our needs are and bringing this sustainability, or helping Steer Liberty bring a better sustainable housing, which will allow you to continue to maintain the Chicago historical design, which a lot of modern homes are not doing, and that's bringing that basement.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the question was, the number that you cited, was that for a slab
Right, that's,
only?
yeah, it's a
Slab only?
slab on, that's on
Okay,
foundation
thank you.
only, that's without basement.
Okay, thank you.
Right, additionally, it would become almost $75 per square foot for basement included, yes. Okay, Steer Liberty Consultant is right now holds the MBE, WBE, WMBE certification specializing in project management and urban planning. We take serious the national price of affordable living. Recently highlighted by a report indicated a deficiency of a shortage of 7.3 million affordable rentals for extremely low-income households. In Illinois alone, only 34 affordable homes exist for every 100 extremely low-income families. This is an urgent issue, and we are ready to tackle it head on. All right, let me go take some slides. Next slide, so I can get through. Meet my team. This is where my best. I have a very dynamic team, and one of them is one of your representatives, which is Michael LaFar. He's our VP of the Vice President of Housing, Real Estate, and Development. Also, I have Jordan Taylor, who is Vice President of Energy and Solution Development. Taylor is actually from SpaceX. He's very familiar with all of AI. So he's our AI guy, our solar panel, anything energy, you would discuss with him. We have Sammy Alnadi. He is our Vice President of Domestic and International Consultant. He will be able to be our networking for here in the United States, as well as in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Jordan, Africa, Jamaica, where, he will be the one to contact when we want to explore outward. But we will be getting into outward exploration once we get started. So that will be kind of like an immediate move. Our next is, we have Joseph Gentile, who was the VP of Toro Construction. This man is the Michael Jordan of construction management. So when you was talking about contractors that don't understand, the drawings, everything, this gentleman right here working with my team, I'm only bringing you the best, all right? I'm only bringing you people who can understand the project itself. They've been doing this business more than me. I'm the student more than anything. I'm a student at what my own business is doing, because I want to make sure you get the professionalism, the knowledge base, and someone that can work with you and guide you and help assist you even further. We are here to take the initiative, not so much to be just, this is what I'm gonna give you and that's it. No, we're taking the initiative to go further, so that way what you didn't think of, this is available too. We have Alicio, I'm just gonna say Alicio, his last name, okay? He is right now our temporary architectural drawer, but we're bringing on a team. We are scouting for more team because I'm trying to network one of the top architect firms throughout the country. But right now, we're still in conversation. But we have Alicio. He's from Illinois, but he practiced and studied in Spain. So when I say his drawings is awesome, his drawings are awesome, okay? Then we have Nolan Gray. Nolan Gray is from Milwaukee. I have two Milwaukeeans here. I have Nolan Gray, who is the Director of Construction Management. And then also I have Tracy L. Williams. She will be the liaison to me for the Midwest, and she is right now holding the position as CEO of YWCA. So to show you the importance of what we're doing, people are willing to get on board with this, because this is something that will be able to manifest and work for communities like ours. And it starts right here on the south side of Chicago in our underserved community, so we get that opportunity to see beautiful homes just like everyone else. All right, next we have, I guess it went on the slide. Let me see, okay. I think I talked about that. Like I said, now let's introduce our 6th unit. You may not seen, you
you've seen a lot of modulars throughout, with companies such as Inherit, Connect. They've introduced a lot of two-story homes, but you may not have seen any 6 units. We can build 6 units, we can build 100 unit, 150 unit to 200 unit in 3 months. 3 to 3.5 months. Only delay we will possibly have is dealing with City of Chicago permitting and zoning. But when it comes to us dropping it down, we are on board and on time with all our build outs. So this is our 6 unit building. It will, like I said, it has 1-story units shared with detached garage and 4 spots. As you can see here, you have your garage space, as promised, right? So yes, this is what it will look like. It has several levels where you have 3 bedrooms and also 2 bedrooms. Square footage is 1,310, and this is also on 2 25 by 125 lots. Now the importance of how you purchase your home in City of Chicago is by its lot size. When you do a 6 unit like this, you will be able to buy a 2-lot combined, which is a 125 by 125 double. So you can put a 6 unit house in there. So if you see 2 vacant lots that's close together, go ahead and purchase it. Call us and we'll drop that 6 unit up there. And it doesn't have to stop at 6, it can go up to 8, all right? So next we have our 2 stories. We have a depth, like I said, the whole model for us is to begin with is to keep that Chicago style, right? The historical look that we have. And what we're looking, this is definitely, you can spot a house similar to this throughout Chicago. We can take any drawings, put it into our system, our 3D system, 3D rendering team, transform into modular, and there you have it. You have your modular home, bungalow, however you want it. It could turn to modular. Again, this is our 2-level. This is a 3-bedroom. This house, now this one right here is over 2,400 square foot. My architect went over and beyond, but he wanted to show you how big they can get. And this is with an upstairs and downstairs. Again, $240 per square foot. It has a garage attached. Let me go back. I'm sorry. Go back. Okay. Right here. As you see in the back, there's a garage attached, just as promised. Remember, basements can be included, but that's additional price. And we'll have Mr. Tony and Mr. Link join in and talk about their basements. Now here's a rent style home. This is a little unique when it comes to modular rent style homes. Like I said, you've been seeing a lot of 2-stories, but no ranch, right? We're gonna bring, like I said, Chicago's known for rent style homes. Let's get some rent styles out here. This is what I was talking about, $288. You can get something fully developed for $288,000. Again, if you wanna add a basement, that's an additional cost. But again, maintaining that Chicago style, if you want the basement, we're bringing that basement for you. Yes.
So I've driven around and I've seen a few of these houses. My main thing is how the door is right, it's right there on the street. And a lot of houses in Chicago
Are not like that.
Well, the ones I have, like you just walk up straight to the door, there are no stairs,
Okay.
so is that something that's possible with a modular home, even if it doesn't have a basement? Like, can you raise it so, your door is just not level with the sidewalk?
Definitely. Everything about that is according to foundation. Okay, that's foundation we're speaking of. You're lifting foundation. That means that will be where I say, Mr. But not Jordan, but Joseph Gentile will come in and help you with that, and our architect team. So when you want to customize and everything, we will get the customization for you. Again, that's what our advisory team, the CAD team, our architecture team will come in, and then that's the unique thing about our company as well. When you come into our facility, our goal is when you come into our facility, there'll be phone booths, kind of like phone booth setting, because we have booths where you have your privacy, where you already know what you want. You want to come in and you like that, we're gonna already, once we launch, we're gonna have over 30 homes to choose from, okay? So you know exactly what you want, right? You come in and say, okay, but I don't like your kitchen. Okay, you'll be able to have an option point where you can drop down and see, we're working with vendors where you can choose different kitchens or styles of kitchen, cabinets, all of that. You can have that. That would be at your disposal to be able to say, okay, we want the hood here, but if we like it better over here, or the refrigerator here, all of that will be an option for you on this system, all right? And then also with our model facility,
3D rendering is what is needed to start our we're working on our, like I said, it's a robotics, so it can manufacture its own. Our software in this robotics will be able to take rendering drawings, put it into the system, and make a full construction drawing. That cuts so much prices in half when it comes to our build out. It will tell you how many screws we need in, bolts, everything. It breaks it all the way down to the smallest element of it, okay? So this is huge on what we're bringing, and this is something that we're bringing to our community. Next, I have Mr. Tony. He will talk about our basement, our phone basement, and this is what it looks like. So I want to zoom in here. But so you can get a better look on what phone basement looks like here. This is what it would look like when it comes to phone. That's your foundation. Now the phone basement prevents water leakage. That's what the different construction when it comes to phone. You're bringing more sustainability to your house overall. So all that termite and all of that he was speaking on, that starts with water flow into your house. Water causes so many problems, as we know. So let's start preventing it by bringing a new dynamic design and technology to how we build our basement. Okay, I'm gonna let Mr. Tony come in. I will introduce him. Can you hear me, Mr. Tony? Oh, before I get started, you wanna see what the module facility will look like? Adavall is one of House of Design's first robotic system buyers, and they built there, and they're located in, I believe, in Idaho. But I'm gonna give you an example of what our facility will look like.
Bet you can't guess where this apartment is.
This here could be built in 3 months.
To Adavall.
In Idaho, they are already starting with their crashing on when they do crashing
The
projects.
first
But
automated
this is what
construction
I want
plant
to
of
bring
its
to
kind.
us. This is an example of what modular
Building homes
animation
year-round
looks like.
inside a factory using robotics to combat rising living costs and bring cities affordable housing. It's faster, high quality, and we're just getting started. With over
Watch us
200
go
solutioneers,
from 10
we
foot
can
wide
build affordable housing
6
measured
foot
in
long
weeks on our
to
assembly
16
line.
feet wide to 72 feet long, and that would be for our hotel buildings. Then we will ship them to the site.
Once we're done, we ship finished units to the property where the building is assembled and completed.
And as you can see, robotically,
We
we give
make
you
that in
flexibility on
factory,
design.
but you sure
It can be
can't tell
flexible,
by
that
looking
means
at
everything is not
modern
straight, you know
finishes
what I
and
mean?
design
You can flex
without
it,
the
you can
heavy
do it however
lifting
you
and
want it.
time.
Just let us know. We're happy. And you see, these are built out, this is how many you can build out. And this is
Here,
the
all
thing
in
we
all,
start.
making smart construction brilliant.
Question.
Sure.
So you're saying this plan, this kind of matter has been approved by the building department here in Chicago?
No, this is something we're working with, we're bringing as of hopefully by July or August of 2025. Yes, we're now starting to take pre-orders, so that way the investor knows the seriousness of our community and what they need of bringing this to it. Hi, Tony. Tony, as I say, Tony's a native of Contested, New York, graduated from Nigeria University. Nigeria is a Nigeria University, and Niagara.
Chicagoland, developing commercial real estate west of Austin Street and Lincoln Park. He has also owned a modular home building company in north central Indiana, where he created modular handicap accessible additional for single family homes in the 1990s, now commonly referred to as granny homes. Additionally, he established unique real estate and entrepreneur classes for inner city, young people, females, and minority groups in collaboration with township officials in Decatur, Illinois. From 2018 to 2019, furthermore, he has been instrumental in pioneering capital and equity formation for small business startups with companies in Ohio, California, and New York. And I would like to welcome Mr. Tony Kokomo to this team. Hold on, let me stop sharing. Hi, Mr. Tony. Oh, you can't. Oh, you never heard me.
Turn the voice on.
Hey, you're on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can't hear you.
Okay, let's get this going. Let me come out. Come back here. Sorry about that, you guys. On favor. Oh my God.
There
Can
you
you
are.
hear? Awesome, awesome.
Now I can hear you.
Awesome.
Yeah, now I can hear you. Hi.
Hi, Tony, could you give, if you can, probably let, Mr. Lynch know that we added back on, if you can join us?
Okay. Yep, I'll text you right now for on, and then, you tell me what you would like, and then I'll have him.
Yeah, if you can join in, just to talk about the, basement foam basements. But we'd like to
Yeah,
start.
actually, I can,
Yeah, we would
I
like to
think I
start
saw,
with you.
a
Yeah.
I saw one of a builder there earlier who was, showing, you know, one of the, styrofoam blocks.
Yes,
So they're styrofoam, they're essentially concrete form, called an ICF.
yes, similar like this.
Yeah, and we use them on basements to build foundations, and then build, well, we're building our small multifamily owner-occupied homes here in central Illinois. And they're very efficient, very easy to deal with. So, like putting together Lego blocks, very well insulated, and with that benefit of the insulation around the concrete, you change huge changes in the energy efficiency of homes. So it's very beneficial. You know, for us, affordable homes means well-built and energy efficient. So that this styrofoam block for foundations is an excellent part of it. I have seen some houses being built entirely out of it, like the gentleman was talking about. So I like them, and they're very, very popular. If you would like to, and if you want to make an introduction to us later on, by the way, I'll communicate with him
We
directly.
definitely about collaboration. There's no one left behind, we can't do them all, okay?
I was looking, I was like, that's an Endura block. I know the Endura.
Yes, yes. Well, Mr.
So-
Tony also, he does, panelization, so if you want immediate homes now and start placing orders for something built now, if you have a project going right now, he does panelization.
Yeah, we panelize. Was there any other questions for us?
Yeah.
From that builder or anybody else?
What's the extra benefit of the foam? Where does the concrete go? In between the foam?
Yes, so.
What was the question?
Does
Broke
the,
up a little bit. What was the question?
where does the concrete go? Is it both in between the foam slats?
Yes, yeah, the foam is just, that's called just a form.
That's the
So
form.
when you assemble a foundation or a building or whatever it is like that, those are all kind of snapped together. Then they have to be braced, then the concrete's poured in the center. And don't forget, one of the things that have to be done is you add the rebar to the form before you pour the concrete in. So you've got the rebar added into it. We built about 3 foundations out of it. this kind of material. So far, they're very successful, and they're very energy efficient too. The block, the insulated block leads for a strong energy efficiency.
So if you imagine you do your floor, so normally it would just be your wood around it, and you put a concrete, but instead you set it up with these. You have the insulation,
Yeah.
like you said, the extra string, eco, and then you pour the concrete in the middle.
And the rebar.
And rebar at the bottom, at the bottom of the concrete
At the
foundation.
bottom, for the additional strength there, so, it's amazing. I don't know much about construction, but I have watched these and what they're doing out there, especially here in Chicago, like you said, a lot
Yes.
of, basements are being done just because of the strength
Yes.
and longevity.
Well,
Thank you.
the other thing that happens with
Ed
these,
knows more about it, talk a little bit about it.
Thank you, thank you.
the other thing, there's another item that happens with these insulated foundation systems like that, is because you're insulating the concrete, especially if you've got a full foundation underneath it or even a crawl space, the benefits of the earth temperature are coming up into the house above it. And that ends up making it cooler, easier to cool in the summer, and you're starting out with warmer air to heat in the winter. So there's some side benefits that are literally coming from geothermal energy from the earth coming up into the home because of the insulated foundation, and it's pretty significant. I have a 2-unit on a crawl space here in central Illinois, and the temperature difference because of the block was 10 to 12 degrees. In the summer, it was cooler, and in the winter now it's running 10 to 15 degrees warmer because of that insulated basement foundation. So, yeah, if you have any questions, we're happy to help out. What we're building are, and as Maddie pointed out, small owner-occupied 2-family, and we're having a lot of success, and there seems to be a lot of demand for that.
Yes. Thank you so much, Tony.
Any other questions?
Any more questions? Any more for me? Any more for Tony? Oh, thank you so very much. I'm so glad I was so detailed. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maddie.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so with that, everybody exercise your arm like Elvis. Ready to stand up. Elvis left the house, but we do have a gift for you. And at this moment, I think we're learning a lot, and we thank Davenport Community Development Corporation for organizing this event. We have Mr. Edward Mason of the Faith Group from Atlanta, Georgia. Please, look for this. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, time. Yes. What do you all think about this? It's amazing, isn't it? New technology.
Hi guys, once again, my name is Edward Mason. I am going to keep my presentation to the point, so I wrote down notes so I can stay focused and on track for you. I know everybody is ready to move on. I'm here today to talk about the Chicago housing crisis in particular, not just affordability, and I'm gonna cover a few other topics to include the issues, the challenges of building affordable housing, a little bit about my personal journey, and the housing specifically, the proposed solutions for the housing crisis here in Chicago, a call to action, and our future vision. Now, nationally, the housing crisis is nearing, if not already at, a critical mass. There are currently over 5.5 million nationwide shortage of affordable homes. And as a result, home prices have surged 39%, rents 31% over the last 4 years, according to the National Association of Realtors and Zillow. As housing costs rise, ordinary families see their disposable income shrink, limiting their opportunities and future development. Without affordable housing, we cannot keep them in their homes in beloved neighborhoods and encourage first-generation home ownership or close the racial wealth gap. In March 2024, a report from the Housing Action Illinois and the National Low Income Housing Coalition found that Illinois has a shortage of 289,419 affordable units. And over 126,000 of that shortage is right here in the city of Chicago alone. So you've got almost 50% of the shortage for the whole state in this one city. And the reason for that is that many of the residents, unfortunately, that make up Chicago's South Side and the rest of these underserved neighborhoods find themselves at what they call the low to the mid-level of the area median income. And that is how they decide what you can and can't qualify for when it comes to buying a house. And these citizens are often find themselves in need of government assistance to buy a home. If they don't get that government assistance, they pretty much will never be in a position where they can buy a home. Now, the problem with the government funding programs is that they set aside money, but the money that they set aside was a shortfall based on the demand alone. Now, in America, the proportion of the budget, as we see every year when we vote and say all of this other stuff, a majority of it is going toward not healthcare, defense, and very limited part of it goes to affordable housing. We'll see more of the budget go to helping foreign countries than it is to helping our own country.
Say that. That part.
Now, an important issue that we must address is that the challenges minority general contractors face in securing financing for their first residential new construction projects. These contractors are vital to diversifying the construction industry and bringing fresh perspectives to housing solutions. However, they often encounter barriers that hinder their ability to contribute effectively. We're dealing with this firsthand right now. So what I'm talking about is when lenders say, hey, I've got this program, we just need to approve your builder. And you send a builder who's got renovation experience. You send a builder that's got new construction experience. And every one of these builders that you send, the bank has a reason for saying, hey, they just don't qualify. But we would like you to use this approved builder that's already on our list. And he's not gonna be from the minority community. Plain and simple. Now, that limited access to capital is the first major hurdle that we face in addressing the affordable housing crisis. Many minority contractors, they lack the financial history or collateral that traditional lenders require, making it difficult to secure loans. This lack of funding prevents them from purchasing necessary materials, hiring skilled labor, and covering other upfront costs essential to starting a project. That's exactly what Mr. Jones was talking about. But you heard what he said. Get one that has money. Well, most of these guys starting out are entrepreneurs. They may have 5-10 years of experience. They may have worked for the big contractor. They may be doing all of the work for the big contractor, and the banks know this. But the bank will still turn around and say, hey, well, you don't have the paperwork necessary for us to give you the loan. So we have to give him the loan. And then he can sub-pay you, or he can not pay you at all. Because you're working for him now, not our responsibility. So that strict lending criteria poses another challenge. Banks and financial institutions, like I said, they have rigid requirements that don't account for the unique circumstances of minority-owned businesses. This includes higher interest rates, larger down payments, stringent credit score requirements, and that can be difficult for new contractors to meet, plain and simple. Moreover, a lack of networking further exacerbates the problem. Minority contractors may not have access to the same industry networks as their counterparts, limiting their ability to connect with potential investors, partners, and mentors who could provide guidance and support. Without adequate financial support and opportunities to build relationships within the industry, many minority general contractors are unable to break into the market. So therefore, the people that know what needs to be done in our communities and how to best address the issues in our community, they can't even get into the game. So they're forced to work for the contractors that are allowed into the game, and their goals don't align with the community. Because what they're looking for is the profit margin. They don't care about economic inclusion. They don't care about the diversity. They care about their bottom line. So now that makes all of these new homes in our communities that the people that live there, born there, raised there, now can afford it. So they can't stay in their communities no longer. Gentrification. And that is what we support when we don't come together to figure out the solutions in our communities ourselves. Now, to overcome these challenges, we need to advocate for more inclusive lending practices, create mentorship programs, and build platforms that connect minority contractors with resources and opportunities. By doing so, we can empower these contractors to succeed and play a crucial role in providing affordable housing. Now, what we intend to do is we intend to create communities that foster economic inclusion, and we expect to achieve that by making communities with diverse models, so diverse architecture. So we'll have single families, duplexes, triplexes, all in the same community, mixed use facilities, so that we can have businesses that create economies within the communities that we create. That is one of the things that we can all agree is missing in our communities, the economy. Because if the economy was there, the children would have something to do, the parents would have better jobs, the smaller kids would go to school with a full belly, and right there we would solve so many societal issues just with that one affordable house. We all know the kids are disrupted when they go to school. Well, I grew up in the projects. A lot of those kids were hungry. They didn't eat dinner and they didn't eat breakfast. So when they come to school, they're frustrated and they cause distractions. The parents, they have to go out and work multiple jobs in order to maintain these high rents. They'll never get to a point where they can qualify for a loan based on that mentality. So now they're working all the time, they're not taking care of the kids are raising themselves. And when the kids raise themselves, we have the issues that we have here in the streets now. I know people I'm not from Chicago, so I know people don't like to talk about it, but the violence is something important. And we gotta address it through the societal changes and impact that we make with our dollar. We cannot keep spending our dollars as consumers. We cannot keep letting society say, oh yeah, these guys spend $1.3 trillion a year as consumers, and we own nothing in our communities. You cannot tell me that we cannot come together and change that. If we got every woman in the community and say, hey, put up $1,000 so we can build this house, you're gonna get $3,000 back. It would happen. But they've gotta understand the process. They've gotta understand that it can be fair. So with our intentional designs, we intend to create this economy. We intend to create access to economic opportunities, an inclusive economy, and community participation. Because once we get more houses in the community that are paying mortgages, not rent, then we own the community. We can make demands of the government on the services that they provide our community. But if we're just renters, we have no demand. We have no power because we don't pay any taxes. So you have no power. And the people that own the property, they're paying the taxes in their neighborhood and recirculating that money in their neighborhood. We get the money, it's gone. Honestly, it's gone. Friday come check there, Saturday we broke, Monday we like, phew, gotta go back to work again. No matter where we at, 130, 180, 30,000 a year, we all keep hitting the same cycle. Now, like I said, I want to try to stay focused on this because I could talk forever because I'm passionate about what I'm talking about. So I want to talk about housing from the home buyer's perspective because that's really what this is about. We need to teach home buyers how to take advantage of the programs that are out there. Now, in Chicago, there's a program called CTO, choose to own. It's through the Chicago Housing Authority. With that program, if you are a public housing resident and you are receiving a housing choice voucher, they can take that same voucher and now apply it toward a mortgage for a house that you purchase. The issue is the houses that are available, they're not something you want to buy. Not for your first time home. Not for your entry into the American dream. So what we're proposing is to build brand new houses that are affordable, eco-friendly, sustainable, and compliant. There's no reason that we can't build these everywhere on the existing lots with no bureaucracy using the current zoning. We're not trying to change anything. We want to buy the lots in the communities where you live, build houses there, because these other people say, oh, I don't want to live in that community. Well, we've been born and raised in this community. We know Ms. Jones is working. We know her son Ray Ray got issues, but we feel safe around them. So we don't mind living these are our communities. These are our homes. So we propose to build homes in these communities on the lots for the people that live in these communities. Now, the houses that we're building, we're proposing a single family, a duplex, and a triplex. All that will fit on a standard Chicago lot, 25 feet by 125 feet. Now, with the single family homes, if you need, we're offering $25,000 in seller concessions, along with whatever down payment assistance program you go through. Now, you only get our concession if you went through a down payment assistance program sponsored by the city of Chicago or sponsored by DCDC Impact. Because now you're on the path to becoming a homeowner, you know exactly what it takes. You're familiar with it and you're ready for the process. So now, by using all of these concessions, we can make the houses that we make in our community affordable for the people that live in our communities. Because the houses I'm proposing, 1,600 square feet, 297. We have a build cost of 186 a square foot. That's what we're selling it to you for the people that go through the housing assistance program and have gone through DCDC's impact program. We will offer those houses to you at a market rate that everybody is paid, and now you can move into that house. You may have some equity, but now you've got a new house with some equity. We've all been paid. We're all satisfied. I'm not taking the material and charging you 40% extra. I've got my general contractors to agree to that. There's one sitting right there. They agree. We're not gonna overcharge you for the material. We're gonna charge you what we purchased for it, whatever gas it took in the truck, and that's it. Then whatever the installation costs are. And we're gonna do that with every contractor. Every contractor that is part of Bay Group, they've agreed to that. That's the only way we're gonna make an affordable home. Because you're not gonna tell me that I need to sell you my house at $250 a square foot, $280 a square foot, and say that that's market rate, when it cost me $140 to build. I sold it to you for $180, I made my profit, you're happy, we're happy. But most developers are not gonna do that. Most contractors are not gonna do that. But the black and brown contractors will do that. Because now, by you choosing to say, hey, look, I want you guys to build my home. I've worked with Guaranteed Rate, they've got me approved. You know what, you can afford them. We're gonna build that house so that it is affordable for your situation. We have varying models, but guess what? Every house in Chicago has to either be a square or a rectangle, pretty much a rectangle, because the lots are only a certain size. So our prices and our costs are not gonna change unless you get on the inside and say, hey, you know, I want the $75 a square foot flooring. Okay, well, if that's what you want, that's what you pay for. But we're not gonna give you contractor rate, we're gonna give you mid-grade, give you quality, affordable property that when the appraiser comes in, he sees the value. So now you've bought this house and they say, okay, it's worth $355. You're happy, we're happy, the city is happy, they've got a new property back on the tax rolls. We're gonna stay in support of you so that if you get to a position where you're in foreclosure, somebody on the team can purchase your property back so that we can keep the properties in our community owned by the people in our communities. So when we build the house for you, a lot of the houses that we're proposing as affordable, we're focusing on what they call the ADU zones in Chicago. We'll build the house in the front for you to qualify for and get funded on, and then we'll come back as a partner and say, hey, your house is zoned to build an ADU. We will put that back there at our expense, and we will share the profits with you.
What's an ATU?
It's an accessory dwelling unit. So it's what you call here is a carriage homes.
Or coach.
Yeah, or coach homes is what you call them here. So it's just, instead of having a garage in the back, we can put 500 square feet in the back. Now, currently, there's a newspaper article that's referenced on my website and a lot of the articles and stuff that I've written for a lady here in Chicago in the North End who just paid $750,000 for 500 square feet, and she's ecstatic.
750,000.
Yes.
500 square feet.
Yeah, Chicago Sun-Times.
All righty then.
Yeah. But that's what she paid for the ADU. They issued over 3,000 permits for the ADUs. It's the only one that's been built, because everybody's scared of the price now. So we're coming in and saying, hey, look, we'll go to those same communities in the north side. If you're willing to pay $750, we charge in $280. Arcadia's left. He's our kitchen guy and our sales guy for that north end area. He sells them for $400. We build them for $280. His sales are makes $120. We're happy. Everybody is paid. Customer is satisfied. They did not get beaten in the head for $750,000. But if that's what the market value is, we're going to charge that market rate. Same thing that we're going to establish in these communities of Auburn, Gresham, Edgewood. The reason that we want to build there is because you've got blocks and blocks of empty lots. So if we build a house here, yeah, it may be hard to get the value on it. But once we've built 3 houses on that lot, it's not hard to get the valuation. If we sold it to you for $297 and they come back and value it at $325, $400, $500, there are some houses on Drexel right now that are $695 that are the exact same floor print as what I'm presenting to you today. The exact same floor print. And all I'm saying is that that is unnecessary, but if you don't know, you will pay it. If you are a developer or a general contractor and you're not concerned with having a social impact, you're gonna charge that number. Now, why do I charge this number? Because I've partnered with the department. I'm gonna put this away and just talk to y'all from my heart, make my heart. So, I found general contractors who will then take the workforce that we train through our workforce development program. So we partnered with the Department of Veteran Services through their Skill Bridge program. So we can train military transitioning personnel 6 to 12 months prior to them getting out. We have programs for HVAC, plumbing, electrical, building maintenance, facilities maintenance, appliance repair, all of the things that are critical, and insulated concrete form construction. All of the things that are fast track for them to then learn a marketable skill that they can go out into the marketplace. Each one of these programs that we're offering offers a certificate and a status of ready for work as soon as you finish. So you can go to anyone in electrical, HVAC, plumbing, and get a job as soon as you finish our training course. We offer that to, like I said, the veterans, but we also offer that to everybody in the community where we are building it. On Baltimore, South Baltimore Avenue, the 10th Ward, Alderman Peter DeChico. What we're looking for there It's 23 lots that are multifamily with a large lot, 164 feet by 564 square feet across the street. We plan on building tri-level triplexes on the 23 lots. We're gonna sell 14 of them as affordable housing. Now, how do we do that if they come in valued at 680? Well, we have to work with the person, we have to work with the government, and we have to see if they allow us to hold a seller second. Now remember, we're all getting paid off of the first. Now that seller second, the way that that's built is that if you continue to go to the programs offered by DCDC Impact, then we can waive some of that. Those programs that are offered by DCDC Impact on behalf of Bay Group and Oval will be about workforce development, training people in information technology, where we can train you for $45 a month, and at the end of 6 months, you can get a job from Google working for home, $30 an hour. We want to implement that in the prison system, 6 to 12 months, so that we can prevent recidivism in our communities, so these young men can come home and be contributing members to the society. Because now they've got a job. They're not at auntie's house and she's like, hey, you know, you took a shower yesterday and today and you ain't bringing no money, you gotta go. But that's what they face. And we don't know that, and when we see them on the street, we turn away from them and we walk away, but we gotta take that responsibility. We can't just say, oh, I got better and I'm not worried about everybody else. So we gotta put these programs in place. That's why the workforce development is there. That is one of the key things that we do. Everywhere we build, we are trying to build a workforce development center in that community so we can hire people from the community to come out and build these houses. And I know that it's simple because we build 100% of the houses that we're offering out of this, which is called insulated concrete form. With these insulated concrete forms, as you see, each side is 2 5/8 inches thick. That automatically means your insulation is built in. Now, will they come in 6 inch depth, 8 inch, 10, 12, and it's for different applications. The 12 would be for hospitals, schools, 10, size like that. But for houses and for basements here in Chicago, we would start with 8 feet. Now you would have a waterproof, insulated basement and never have to worry about moisture issues. Where did that water come from? That water came because you walked in and spilled some water. It didn't come through the oven. Plain and simple. It's impossible.
No more pink insulation.
Yeah, no more of that because the insulation is already built in. You see what I'm saying? Now, and once again, I know that it is a sensitive subject for Chicago, but I've watched the news and it's like, it's depressing. Every day in our communities. We're losing babies to stray bullets. We're losing babies because they have no opportunity. And they doing things to each other that are unconscionable. Only way we can solve that is giving these babies opportunity. And we can do that how we build our communities, by building community centers with our money for our community that produces a return. So that nobody's asking you to be an angel investor. We're asking you to invest in your community so that when you walk through it, you see the excellence that you expect. And you made it possible. Now, back to this, the reason that we use this is because it's like building with Legos. And when you're building brand new, there is nothing better than this. When we started out, we were building with shipping containers. We still build with shipping containers. We have a project in Ardmore, Tennessee. We've got a project in Sri Lanka. They prefer the shipping containers. That's what they want. But once they read up and see about this insulated concrete form, and that it's eco-friendly, it's disaster resilient. Once it's built, it's a complete thermal mass. So now, your house, whatever temperature it is, it maintains it. Not for an hour, your air is not gonna keep coming back on, you don't need a big central air system. You have to use a mini split, a smaller system, which once again brings down the cost. Because now I don't have to pay $10,000 for HVAC installation, I can get it all done for $3,000, $4,000 with the unit, and it'll cover the entire facility. So these are the things and the steps that we're taking to make it so that it's affordable. Now, once you build with this, it's simple, just like Legos. That's it. So if we train people on how to do this, you saw how simple that was just now. I took my wife to the course in Alabama, and we did this. It's that simple. Anybody can do this. And with the proper training, we can now build the affordable houses in our community, because guess what? I can build that whole one story in one day. The concrete trunk can come the next day, pour, then we wait 7 days for it to get the right tensile strength, and we come back and put in the second floor. I just killed all of the labor costs and everything. We literally, 4 people can get this done in about 6 to 7 hours. So now we can build a 2-story in less than a month, and it's completed and on the market and available. But we want to build these, like I said, in these black and brown communities for the residents of that community. Now, most of the CTO and NACA programs and the down payment assistance, they target people that are at 50% of the AMI and lower. We have products for those at 50% and above, up to 80%. Once you're above 80% of the AMI, then it's full price. It's market rate for you. That's just how we offer it. So we make it available. Now, what our future vision is that as we build these communities and build these resource centers, we can create these cohorts and train people in cohorts. So now we've taken 10 people from this community in Chatham and trained them in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, ICF, all of the different aspects of actually building. And now one of them says, hey, you know what? I've got an entrepreneurial spirit, so I can be the boss. Let me go ahead and franchise this from you. And now they're in Wisconsin doing the exact same thing, training other people on how to put this together, training other people how to find the financing. Now, we realize, like I said, the main thing that most general contractors face is that financial burden, or that financial hurdle for getting the money for their first bills. So we took advantage of what Barack Obama put in place, the Job and Tax Cut Act. And in the process of doing that, we met with members of the Trump administration and different developers all over the country. And the one thing that they all said is, we're not even worried about you because you're talking about building stuff for $350 and less. And when you build them for $350 and less, that works out for us because that keeps the riffraff out of our neighborhoods. That's what the developer said to me, and they were comfortable saying it. So all I'm saying is that with that 1.7 trillion that we're spending, we're not really riffraff. We just got to look at it a little bit different. So that is my goal with my future vision, to create these cohorts that can then take this same process and idea across the country, to Gary, to Milwaukee. Go to play with Gary, they're selling lots for $1. So you tell me if we put this house on there and we can put construction grade and get it down to $96 a square foot, we can't make a profit, regardless of what their income levels are. The government is there to give them money to rent. Why not just make it a buy situation? We still won. We've built more houses. We've got more of these general contractors with the paperwork that they needed now. Now they have the paperwork to go to the bank and get funded on their own to do the next deal, to have the money, the paperwork to get the bonding done. These are all important things that if we want to have an impact, and if impact is important to you, these are the things that we need to do. that is my presentation. I thank you
And
all.
the stress, it's already approved in the city of Chicago.
And let me
it's
tell you-
bulletproof as well.
Yeah,
That's what I want to say.
yeah, so now that I've covered the basic stuff, let me tell you from the heart. Like I said, I grew up in the Bronx, I grew up in a dangerous environment, but the Bronx is Candyland compared to Chicago as far as we're concerned. But we can change that because with this here, once it's filled with concrete, you can use a military style M-Deuce 50 cal or M60 machine gun. I'll send everybody, well, the video is that little card that everybody has in their chair with the city of Chicago. If you scan that, you'll get my full presentation. And there'll be a link to the videos on there where you see this getting shot with a 50 caliber machine gun and an M60 machine gun next to a regular wall. Now, I know and you know that nobody in Chicago is standing around waiting for the police shooting no M50. They ain't shot off no 50 shots. They might have shot 4 or 5 shots at most. That's not gonna do anything to this. Not if a 50 cal and an M60 machine gun after hundreds of rounds didn't tear it all the way down. So this is going to be safe. And I know that's something that people don't like. But it's also a generational home, more importantly. So once it's designed and customized to your needs, once we build it, there's really no change in the frame. We can change the interior walls. We don't use any wood. We use all steel frames, steel beams inside. And we use steel studs inside to make sure it's eco-friendly and sustainable. And like I said, you've got a 100 or better year generational home, fireproof, everything is fireproof. This was 4-hour fire rating by itself. Then you've got concrete in the middle. You're not burning. How long is it gonna take 6 inches of concrete to burn? The fire department doesn't get there before that burns. Once again, you're not paying any taxes in your neighborhood, so you're not really getting any services. That could be the only explanation that one of these houses burned down. Nobody really, I ain't never seen no news articles about grenades, but these are blast proof. All things that are important to the safety of our neighborhood and don't cost us any extra to include. Not one dime extra does it cost us. Once we've trained enough people, we can actually impact our communities because now we've got people that have jobs, people that have homes. Their homes cost less. The businesses are in their community, so now they have more money to spend in their community so that that dollar circulates more than one time in our community. But we've got to build it with intentionality. We've got to make sure that when we design our neighborhoods, we take into consideration economic inclusion and economic diversity. Access to economics or access to opportunities for all. Everybody has got to have the opportunity to get a job, to have an affordable, safe place to live. That is the only way our communities are going to really thrive and move forward. I heard somebody say, what do you think a thriving community is? Well, a thriving community is where everybody has access to opportunity, whether it be new education opportunities, new job opportunities, or new living opportunities. We've got to make that happen, and we can do that in our communities. Any questions?
Would you do you think, or would you be open to people being trained to build their own homes so they can go into a debt-free home? So if they're willing to train people to build them, what if families wanted to learn how to build their own home?
Like I said, when we create the community centers, you have the ability to come in and get the training, but then you're gonna face the same issues when you go to get financing, because unless you're using your own cash, most lenders are not gonna lend money for you to build your own home. They just won't do it. And you can find a specialty lender that will.
That's what I was thinking.
That would be, you know what I'm saying? But most of them, unless you have the qualifications, they're not gonna fund you to go out and build your own. Now, all of the programs that we offer, they do offer a industry recognized certification. And we're also working with NASPLA so that at some point we can make the process easier. And NASPLA is the National Association of licensing agencies. So they're the ones that give the general contractors their actual license. So we're working with Nick Forche there to try to make it so that it's an easier process for black and brown contractors to get the necessary paperwork and to get the accreditation that they need. Because everybody knows that, yeah, Mr. H. Russell has the general contractor license and all of the necessary paperwork, and when you award him the contract, he subcontracts to Mr. Ramirez and Mr. Santos, and then they come and do all of the work. Mr. Russell ain't did nothing. Nothing. Not a thing. They've done all the work, and then he pays them a portion. Not to mention that he's overcharged, because he had to make his profit margin. And that's what we're all in business for a profit. Cities, counties, all of them are aware of this. You know, I had, I'm not gonna say an argument, but I had words with a City of Chicago representative at Chicago the Chicago Build Expo on Tuesday and Wednesday. Because she told me, with her boss standing next to her, oh, we give opportunities to black and brown contractors to come in and do this work. But they have to have the paperwork. And I said, but you already know that they don't have the paperwork. You know that they're coming in and doing all the jobs for the person that you actually issued the money to. You already know that. So don't tell me that you're making opportunities available when you know that you're circumventing that, but you're using the rules. So we need to change the rules so you can't circumvent that no more. Oh, and she took offense to the words I was saying.
The truth.
So,
You
and
took
so did her
offense
boss.
to the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did her boss, you know what I'm saying? But that is just, it's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and until
No one's affirmatively calling you an in or hanging across or burning there, but we just have these standards and these credit requirements and these experience requirements that essentially lock the black and brown contractors out.
Absolutely, and until we start standing up and saying something about it, it will just continue, because nobody is advocating for it to change.
Exactly. We're not racist, we just need you to have a $10 million performance bond, that's all.
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, we know you're brand new, but you need a $10 million bond, and you need to show us your last 5 bills. Oh yeah, we don't lend on your first build if you don't have experience. Well, how do I get the experience if you don't lend on my first build?
It's a convenient catch-22, and we've seen
All
it
the
over
time.
and over again. We're dealing with it in the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce as a new client, where we're talking about these very issues and thinking about bringing action against, you know, the state and the municipality just to point this out, because it's a catch-22.
But see, the solution is to find a bunch of people in our communities who are like-minded and who are concerned about the issue, and getting them to come together, because we all got $4,000 or $5,000. And if it takes 10 or 20 of us to build this one and flip it, and then build this one, and then build this one, and now we've changed the face of the community as we walk down the street, we inspired and we caused that excellence to happen. But we're not doing that. We've got every excuse to say, oh no, you know what? You don't got enough experience yet, you ain't did it enough times. Show me the paperwork from the bank where you got your first, where you did your first build at. That's what we're saying to these same contractors that the bank is saying. And then we take our money and we'll give it to this next guy who's charging us 3 times as much. And we're just fine with it. Oh, he's got the experience. And he's right. Because and that's what we assume all the time. And it's just unfortunate.
I want to get the information and pitch of village I'm working with, where we're dealing with this very issue. Now, I'm sorry, you build everywhere, so it's not just you.
Because, and you know, so like I was saying, you know, our program, my future vision, you know, also to take these people that we've trained. We've got contracts in Africa now. So we have a 100% organic enzyme that we mix with native soil to make roads. That's gonna open up the fair trade that they need there. That also gives us job opportunities for crews to go over there and now work internationally and be exposed to something different.
Depending on how this
Besides
election
your
goes, we may be all going over there.
future vision to give people that opportunity to say, hey, here's a contract where you gotta leave for 3 months, but you're gonna make $300,000. You wanna take your 4 people over there and train some local people and make it happen? If not, he does. If not, he does.
Or she.
Or she does, because we put together a coalition by partnering with the Spanish Contractors Association, the National Association of Minority Contractors. It's important that we pool our funds together to make these things happen. So, and I realized that. So what I did was I started the Bags Fund, which is a portfolio management platform that's run on the blockchain. The software I use is from a company in Germany. Most of my investors are from Dubai and other international locations, because when you invest in these projects in Chicago and these other places in the US that either create jobs or have a social impact, guess what? US Customs and Immigration Services will give you and your immediate family a residency visa if you invest $1 million. So now you skip the line for $1 million that you had laying around anyway. Not to mention you're still getting the return. But that's the only way I'm getting the investors to come invest in our communities for a long term, because we buy Porsches and
Depreciating assets.
You got the steering wheel to the firm.
Yeah.
And I got new Vogues with fur.
there you go. You know, but unfortunately, that is the state of our community, and we really need to start. You know, I look at it like this. Imagine every black, successful, brown person that you know as a single dot, like this brother's shirt right here. You see how it's all everybody's single dots? We're doing great by ourselves. But if we use lines and connected those dots and created a network and a web between each other, and we could use each other for resources and knowledge, we would be unstoppable. We would be unstoppable.
So, with that, stay up here. For all those watching us on YouTube and others, please, all the speakers come up.
We also have an announcement.
We have an announcement.
And our closing.
Okay, and Elder Dave.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our Affordable Housing Forum. My name is Felicia Key, and I am the Chief Financial Officer of Faith Group. Today, we will be offering $20,000 off a build if you build with Faith Group, but this is the stipulation. You have to use Natasha Robinson of Guaranteed Rate for your loan. You have to participate in DCDC program with David Davenport, and you have to write a contract with Faith Group before December 31st, 2024. And I have 2 people that I have selected. The first person who signed in today was Williford Desiree. Is she here?
She just left.
Okay, well, we have this for Desiree. She was the first. And Matthew 20, verse 16. So the first will be last and the last will be first. So she was on time. We also have Mr. Dominic Austin. Can you come up? He was the last. But the first will be first and the last will be last. So there you go. You can use it yourself. You can give it to your clients.
Okay.
And thank you for coming out to support this.
Everybody squeeze in. Mr. Davenport,
You know what?
we thank you for organizing this
I want to
event.
thank all of our participants for making this a very successful event. It will not be the last event, but we're just glad for all those who have the expertise and gave us the information we need in order to launch something very new in the city of Chicago. And we know that, there's a lot of land out here. They're doing tremendous work. We know that everything is shifting when it comes to property value, and also when it comes to people moving back to Chicago. We saw the hurricane hit twice in one place 2 weeks ago. And people are fleeing back to the Midwest. And so we have opportunity to make our city, again, an international city. And we can do it. We can put our heads together, and with the vision of these great builders, we can make it happen. And we will make it happen. And we're gonna make it move. We're gonna make it move. And so all that's gonna do, we thank you for coming, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
I feel as though I've gone to church today,
Yeah.
hearing all the scripture.
Yeah.
You're an elder, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone that's watching, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you guys pose for a picture? Nick, can you take one picture? And he's gonna take the picture, but pose, yeah. You guys can pose it.
He's gonna take a picture. Nina, you can join us for the picture.
You know, it's not a blessing. Right, help me up, please. Help me up.
The stairway.
Oh, let's go to stairway. I like stairways too.
No, seriously, please don't.
Yeah, let's do the stairway.
Okay, so just line up the stairway.
Oh, since we're here, stay one here.
Yeah, we're already here.
Hey, Mr. Contractor.
Yeah, they want both, that's all.
We want both.
They have two
Yeah.
people.
Okay.
Stand on the stairs.
No.
and give us-
That wasn't.
They want you to get on the stage.
That wasn't the look.
The
Give us
elevator.
body, not attitude, not say.
Said me. Okay.
We
Now, if you
sitting
got
down.
on the stairs, you can get it down with
That ain't what I want.
Yeah, I was manager of the yearbook.
Y'all ready? 1, 2. Okay, one more. Blackwell on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Blackwell.
Oh.
We don't get on the
Now we're
stairs.
good to stairs.
That's been a long
You
morning.
change your attitude.
We get on the
Long
stairs.
morning.
We get on the stairs.
Please.
And we eat donuts too.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna
Yes,
do a stair picture.
please.
Then we're gonna go, okay?
Then y'all can go home and get you a good nap in, get you some greens. Yes, that's excellent, yes. It's like going on prom again. Something fun.
All my professionals and all my lives.
Yes. It's like prom night. Yes.
On the cruise picture.
She done.
When you go out- when you go
Okay,
out
those that are
cruising.
available. That's good, Tasha. That's great. Okay, excellent.
Okay, everyone here?
No, that's good. Oh, perfect. Okay. Blackwell on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Blackwell.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're gonna have really put a real strong strategy out in this particular program. We really want to get together with Brother Mason, Sister Maddie, because I want to make sure we galvanize our strengths. You know, I want to keep it moving. I think that, you know, the ideas from this first program we had, we can just kind of taper it down and give it more impact. You know, so I want to make sure you get that video together and we can edit it.
Yeah, there was a lot.
It's too much. Edit it down to, you know, whatever, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Make the YouTube and we put it on YouTube platforms. So whatever you have, we're gonna start editing.
I gotta look 3
Huh?
It's over 3 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot of it.
I'm like, I don't even know how to, where I can save 3 hours.